address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. on Wednesday, February 21st. Today in Baton Rouge, expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 72. In hour one of today's show, we'll discuss a little LSU baseball, then talk the latest with LSU football and the New Orleans Saints. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now. Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert. Yeah! Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome in. Another day here on OTB. Hope you're having an excellent day, my friends. I know we are. We're going to have one, a good one, a great one, that is. YouTube.com/1045 ESPN. If you want to come hang out, you want to get in the chat, whatever the case may be, that's have your takes be known. That's a great way to do so. The best way to do so, actually. And always the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Team of Jake, Alondra, and Taylor with you here on this Wednesday morning. Oh, it's first and Flestrin later on. We got Mac and Man coming up. And, a lot of some LSU football talk coming up as Jamie Chadwell put LSU's name in his mouth. Taylor's upset. I'm not as upset, but I think the conversation that spins out of the comments are very interesting. So, again, let's have ourselves a day, folks. How's everyone feeling today?
When you say maybe some flestering or hopefully some flestering, that means you haven't talked to Matthew?
I forgot to send him a text yesterday. Sent him a text this morning, and so we'll
see.
He's
been doing this for as long as I've been doing this.
We'll see.
Here.
We'll see.
Every Wednesday.
Look, I'm not trying to count any chickens before they've hatched. We'll see. We'll just keep people on their toes. Maybe some flestering.
Okay.
If not, we'll just have to talk about, I don't know, just find some more angles on Clint Kubiak or something. I don't know, right? He uses motion, guys, He mixes up personnel groupings. Chris McCaffrey did really good under him, so maybe Kamara will. I don't. I'm already kind of tired of the Saints theorizing of the offseason. But we got a lot more of it, so we're going to stay positive. You know what? I'm excited to have those conversations.
There you go.
Alondra, how are we feeling today?
Doing well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you being honest here?
I'm a little tired. I'm not going to lie, but.
Okay, that's good. I see some subtext. Well, do lie, okay? Fake it till you make it. Okay. That's what we do.
I feel great.
Yeah.
I've never felt more alive in my entire life.
Look,
okay.
There we go,
I
dude.
am ready to go. I'm hyped up.
Yes.
I'm pumped. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I can already feel it. Taylor, this is the first time I've ever seen you with your hair undone and a baseball
Okay, that is
on.
not true.
We all have hats on today.
We do all have hats on today.
It's weird that I have one on, right?
Super. I've never seen that.
Yeah, Jake's an everyday guy. I had like a little something on my forehead. I'm like, let's just cover that thing up with a hat. What about you there?
I'm doing good. I tell you what, though, it's not going well for Chelsea on Love is Blind. We watched it last night. Not going well.
I feel a little out of the
You
loop.
said Chelsea. I was talking about, they're having a down season.
I thought he was doing a random EPL as
Me
well.
too. I was excited for a little bit.
No, Chelsea on Love is Blind. It's not going well for her, guys. I hate to inform you.
What are we on, like season 6 or something?
Season 6, yeah.
Well,
she got proposed to in the pod, but once they came out the pod,
he was
old
ugly.
Jimmy wasn't feeling her. I don't think he's going through with that marriage, guys.
Oh, wow. So this is like an even worse version of being nexted.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
They get proposed to in the pod before they ever see each other, and then they have to meet in person and go on a vacation. It's not going well.
Like, hey, I like you, but you're not. You're a little ugly.
Well, she told him that she looked like Megan Fox, and she does not. She told him she looks like Megan Fox, and she does not.
I need to look at this girl.
Red flag. If anyone tells you they look as good,
you're setting yourself up for failure. First,
like a Megan Fox, right? Like if I sit there and I'm like, yeah, I look as good as Brad Pitt. Like, yeah,
okay.
And she played it off. She's like,
people have told me and Chris Hemsworth pretty much the same guy.
She played it off. She goes, hey, has anybody ever told you look like a celebrity? And he's like, not really. She goes, okay, I've gotten, I don't know her name, but it's like the girl that Machine Gun Kelly dates. I'm like, first off, you do know her name. Secondly, if anybody ever told you and you didn't know who it was, you're Googling real quick.
Actually, look, there's a tact and a subtlety there that I can now see why she won the conversational part of the equation. Just not speaking to her looks. Because that is a pretty slick way to set up I look like Megan Fox without just coming out and being like, rah, and like so blunt about it.
Well, the other girl he was in between, like we got to see the people, obviously. He didn't. She was super hot, but she was awful, so I actually think he made the right decision.
I looked up Chelsea Love is Blind, and every of the pictures are like her and Megan Fox side by side.
No. People are talking.
She does not look like Megan Fox.
Look, Chelsea.
I mean, she's pretty, but she don't look like Megan Fox.
Chelsea, I get it. I'm dealing with my own troubles over here. I just can't get a new staff in World of Warcraft, dude. Just cannot get that Rod of the Ancient Sleepwalker. Rolled a freaking 4 out of 100 last night.
What would that mean for you if you got it?
It would be the best weapon I could get until the No More Gone raid.
So you're fighting with it?
Yes. Give me just intellect, spirit, major healing and damage buffs, and yet here I am with a mace and an offhand, which I do kind of like how it looks, but like a little idiot. Rolled a 1 and a 4 last night. It was rough. But you know what? Me and Chelsea, we're pushing through. Okay. Life gives you limits. Hey, what do you do?
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
You almost had it. The guy before.
Exactly.
Wait, is she up there?
That's Chelsea right there.
What do we think?
I think more Adele.
Yeah,
Adele.
I definitely would say I'd see Adele.
Yeah.
I think
she looks like my friend Jennifer.
I think Chelsea is very pretty, and I think that there is no reason when you are that pretty to compare yourself to someone who would then outshine you, right? Like she didn't need to go down that road at all, and it probably would have been better for her, unfortunately.
Maybe she has Megan Fox like mannerisms. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people could have mannerisms, and you're like, oh, you kind of look like
drinking Machine Gun Kelly's blood.
Well,
I think I saw that the other day.
Look, in old Chelsea's defense,
them two. They're so weird.
In Chelsea's defense, she said it's because I have blue eyes and dark hair, which is why people compare us.
That does make sense. I mean,
I still don't see it or know why you would say that, but
you're right though, Alondra. Fake it till you make it. You know what?
You rolled a 59.
No. I'm not gonna fake it in that way. What I am gonna fake is that I'm just gonna fake being positive about it.
Yeah,
my day's gonna come.
Right, it is.
My day's gonna come.
It's good if you.
I'm just saving up for the No More Gone purple staff.
Yeah, if you're gonna play tonight, I think you're gonna win it tonight.
Well,
I think you're gonna roll.
That's Gary Kahn, but you only get a shot at it once every 4 days.
Oh, okay. So I think in 4 days.
Yeah.
I think you're going to roll a 73, and nobody else is going to roll a number higher than yours, and you're going to get that staff.
You already show a very astute understanding of how loot works in World of Warcraft, Alondra. I'm very proud of you this morning, and I do thank you for the encouragement. Speaking of encouragement, I would like to encourage everyone to go check out Hunt's Around the Horn piece on On3. I guess Hunt's going to do some baseball coverage for them. I love how he framed this early portion of the season, right? Where he said, look, when you're in this kind of pre-SEC play, opening weekend, I don't care. Like he said, it doesn't show what a player can't do. It more shows what a player can, right? And this is exactly right. This quote: if someone posts an over 6 stat line, it doesn't mean he can't hit. If a pitcher comes in and hits 96 on the gun on the 56th pitch, it means he can do that. So I just thought that was a great line for all of us kind of framing our watching of this baseball team here early on. And real quick, we're going to move to football next segment, but to end this one, What are we most excited about this weekend? Out of anything with this LSU baseball team, what series starts tomorrow, right? We're looking at Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Yep.
For me, I think it's probably Gage Jump. Was pretty electric in his debut. When you talk about the potential, I mean, Hunt writing that he was told back in January he might actually be the best arm on the entire staff. That would be somebody that whenever he gets in this weekend, that I'm going to perk up that meme where the guy sits forward in his seat when he's playing video games. That's when Gage comes in.
I think if he's fully healthy, like he gives you a completely different dynamic. Again, like we knew he was good and people told us he was good, but like the more and more you talk to people, and the thing that's important to me is like outside of LSU circles that tell me like, no, he might be the most impactful transfer that we had this year if he stays healthy, if he is the guy. I mean, we're talking about a top 50 MLB draft guy a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Like not –
that's insane.
Not somebody that after he played 3 years in college, he was like out of high school. Like that's kind of was the word and what they were saying about him. And so he has the talent. And I think Jay Johnson's probably playing it the right way. Hey, we are going to ease you in here. Like if we get to a point by conference play where you've worked up to going out there and throwing 3 innings, like that might even be the situation that we're looking for. So, no, he's an arm that can completely change the narrative of your team, even as good as LSU is.
I have a bit of a little bit of a theory that's not, it's like kind of a working theory on Gage Jump.
Okay.
I don't remember if we said this or not, but when we talked about how they kind of work Javen Coleman in the same way that they're doing Gage Jump, where you start him as a closer and then eventually work your way into a starter.
Yeah.
And for me, maybe Thatcher's kind of like that placeholder until Gage Jump is fully healthy and ready to be the Friday night guy. And then Luke, of course, will be your Saturday night guy. Maybe move Thatcher to a midweek role. I don't know. But
I mean,
we talked about
but
that yesterday.
I am excited to see, like how I've been saying, how Thatcher responds to his outing on last Friday.
And it's like I don't think you even have to be. I don't think it has to be as purposeful as we are grooming this guy to replace Thatcher.
Right.
I think it's, but it is. But I do see. I mean, I think
that's
you
just
are
kind of how it
correct in that,
can work out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like if you can, if you. Obviously, if you can develop more weekend caliber starters, like why not develop more weekend caliber starters? And right now, it looks like there are a few. You know, how many actual weekend names are in the mix right now?
5,
4?
I would say.
5.
I'd say 5.
Yeah.
If you include Gage Jump, 5. You got Jump, Thatcher Hurd, Luke Holman, Cade Anderson, and Javen Coleman. That's kind of your 5 right now.
So that's interesting because that means now there's 2 spots on this team where you have 5 very good players competing for essentially 3 positions.
Yeah.
And that would be 2 of the more exciting things, I think, to watch over this preseason. I call it the preseason, this pre-conference portion of the
Jay
of
would
the
not
season.
like you calling it preseason.
I do not.
He
That
would
is, that
hate
is
that.
me saying that. That is not how the team approaches it. I know that. He's been very clear about that.
I also want to take a second to laugh at number 1 Wake Forest for losing to UNC Greensboro yesterday.
Hey, hold on
also, number 6 Vanderbilt lost to Dayton.
Okay. I also love laughing at people, but do we want to, the baseball gods can be fickle.
They can be
Stony
fickle.
Brook is on the menu this
That
weekend.
is true.
Is this the time to take your shot? I don't know.
I'm just saying.
We'll see.
As far as what I'm watching this weekend, I'm not going pitching. I was going to go Gage Jump, but since you went Jump, I'll go a little bit different area. The 4 bodies for 2 spots, if you will. It's Stephen Milam, Josh Pearson, Jake Brown, and Paxton Kling. What I'm going to be interested to see just for Thursday, the 2 guys that Jay rolls out there, right? Because Milam and Brown, those have kind of been your offensive guys. They've been really good at the plate. I would say defensively, Pearson and Kling maybe a little bit ahead of those guys, at least in the field. They haven't hit as much. I think who Jay rolls out there Thursday is going to tell a lot about how he wants to form this team. Does he think it's going to be more defensive-minded? Does he say, hey, we have good enough pitching to where we got to get the bats in the lineup to outscore people as well? I just think that it's not going to be a finished product Thursday, but whoever he rolls out there Thursday might give you kind of idea of how he wants to frame this lineup.
Am I wrong, do y'all think, Jake, am I wrong in saying that Johnson would probably skew towards the bats.
That's what he's done in the past.
That's what he's done in the past, right? Like, and
Gorilla ball.
Maneri was kind of the opposite, whereas he was all
Maneri
about
was always a defender.
defensive efficiency, and he can make up for it in that way. So who does that? Does that mean that Milam?
I would think Milam at second, and then Brown in right field right now.
The names that he's throwing out there, that would be those two.
Yeah. Well, look, exciting. It's all very exciting. Pumped up baseball's back. Excited to watch it. The wonderful rhythm of having it on in the background as you're going about, locking in. It's just the absolute best. So a ton to look forward to this weekend. Again, remember what Hunt wrote, okay? It's not about necessarily what a guy can't do, but we can draw some real lessons and takes on what a guy can do. Great job, Hunt. Excellent job. Around the horn. Check it out on 3. All right. When we get back, let's talk a little bit about Garrett Nussmeier. We're going to look at SEC quarterbacks next year. We'll see where Garrett Nussmeier would rank. And then it gets into a bit of a ceiling talk. And then and looking up this, we found a very interesting story about Jamie Chadwell. Talking about LSU, CJ Daniels, as he has Jake, it's good to be a college football player. Let's say that right now. When we get back, more Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Community Steel Company, CommunitySteelCo.com. Great seeing Brandon Golson up here in the studio yesterday. Shout out to the real one. Brandon was down there in the Dominican Republic, in the DR, and he has a Community Steel shirt on, having a drink, and somebody yells at him like, "Yo, I hear your commercials on OTB." Look, we love for our advertisers, it's working, everything's going great. That's awesome. That makes me very happy. That's very validating. Shout out to you. You know who you are, whoever you are, you random person. We love you. But not as much as we love Community Steel, because they're the absolute best. You need purlin, tubing, steel building, sheet metal. They make it all there on-site, best prices, local, live sales team, Community Steel Company.
You can go see them in Gonzales, Louisiana today. We tell you all the time, get it done today. You don't have to call and ask for permission from a bigger city. Everything's done right here in Gonzales. Call them today, 225-647-2020.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bands customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light?
Oh, shoot, I forgot to play the song. I got a guy who can fix this.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Wednesday Hump Day AFR presented by Pluckers, Tigers, and Wildcats. LSU welcomes Kentucky to the PMAC. We're previewing it. Join us 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Time in the slammer, what was I thinking? She snuck out one night and met me by the front gate. Her daddy came out waving that 12 gauge. We tore out the drive, he peppered my tailgate. What was
I'll let chat try to guess who chose this one. Turn it up.
Jake chose this one.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and spoil it for everyone.
Yeah. Ooh, boy. Andy Lewis. Is it not a sports show?
It is.
Did we just talk baseball
Like,
before
we just
break?
talked about baseball. I don't know what more he wants.
He said he's got an allotted amount of time in the morning, and at 7 a.m. it's baseball season. He didn't have time to tune in at 9.
We talked about baseball.
No, look,
It's literally the only sport we have talked about.
I will say
We're all on Andy's time.
Our
All of us.
our peak listening time is 8 a.m. So
Look, I don't.
maybe you get it at 8 a.m.
I
as
definitely
well.
understand. I understand Andy's frustration, but you just gotta see which way the wind's blowing that day. And if it's not blowing our way that day, then go. We'll see you.
We'll have you
try
again. Andy,
Yeah,
we'll
that's
have
what
you
I'm saying.
again,
Come
Bo.
on, it's an open door policy, Bo.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's always welcome in this house.
Yeah.
So JD Piquel from On 3 was talking about how, I don't know, whatever. It's not a very interesting take. It's just him being like, Garrett Nussmeier loves to throw it deep, which is true. But it starts to call into a question, and Taylor, you did a good job in framing it this way. But like, okay, let's really talk about Garrett Nussmeier and maybe what his ceiling is. And then in thinking about that, I'm like, well, what's a way to kind of try to do that? Let's look at SEC quarterbacks next year. And kind of see where could we see Nussmeier slotting in the hierarchy, because that will kind of inform us a bit as to the ceiling. I think when you look at returning quarterbacks, tell me if you disagree, Jake. I feel like you have two clear groupings that I kind of see on the top group, and you could do these in any order. I got Carson Beck, Jackson Dart, Brady Cook, Jalen Milroe. Then you then whatever break you want to say, and then I'll put like Graham Mertz, Iamaliava, Connor Wegman, maybe Brock Vandegrift, KJ Jefferson would have been in the top group at a point, but now he's probably in the top of that bottom one.
He's at UCF.
So he did. I tried to look that up, and I tried to double check that, and I thought he was still at Arkansas.
Maybe
Okay, so then he's out. So the point being, you have like that top group is pretty damn good. Those top four, those bottom four are kind of whatever. Where will Garrett Nussmeier be by year's end? Because a lot of people think Iamaliava is going to be the fast riser. He's going to end up being the guy that joins that big four. Will it be Wegman, who's had all the hype, but kind of dealt with some injury problems? And then where will basically Nussmeier? And then look, Mertz was really good statistically last year.
Yeah.
Just very conservative. What's the truth of Garrett Nussmeier?
I would have him closer to that top group than the bottom group. I think there's been enough. We have seen enough. We've seen it over multiple years, 3 years.
That's true.
Like, we have seen him come in and have big moments, including against one of the best defenses we've ever seen in our lifetime, what Georgia had.
Yeah.
And the
That's
fact
true,
that he could come into that game and not have a care in the world, in a good way, in a very good way, and just play like that. That shows you what kind of mentality he has. So, like, we've never really seen, Nussmeier come in and not be able to handle a situation. We know the talent. The receivers, I think, obviously you lose 2 first-rounders, but the receiver group is one of the stronger groups on your team in potential. You still have to go out there and do that. So, no, I would have him closer to the top than I would, Blake Shapen or anybody in that bottom group.
We're shaping it now. Auburn?
Mississippi State.
I can't keep track anymore. Athletic did a deep dive the other day where I just still haven't read it yet. I have it on my to read, but they basically untangled the incredibly complicated web that are quarterback transfers to get everybody ready for this upcoming season.
And even so you mentioned Jalen Milroe. That's interesting.
I'm a Milroe believer.
No,
that's me.
He hasn't given you any reason not to, but they bring in Mack. They also, Ty Simpson's still there.
Yeah, true.
You have new coach, new coordinator, and Sheridan's been with DeBoer. That was finally official yesterday, but Sheridan's been with DeBoer in a couple of different places, Indiana, Washington. Is that the kind of style of quarterback that they want? Now, Michael Penix Jr. is somebody that he can make all the throws outside the numbers. That's who they were. He had Jake Hayner at Fresno State. You look at the quarterbacks Kalen DeBoer's had, they are quarterbacks that can make the throws. Can Jalen Milroe make the intermediate throws? Is that going to be the guy that they move forward with? Or is it a competition where Milroe is for sure first opportunity, you got to go show that you can't run this offense, and then everybody else has an opportunity?
Do you think it's okay? I guess I have a couple thoughts that pop into my head when I hear all that. One, do you think DeBoer and them are so beholden to a system that they will go more system over player? Because I view Milroe, the reason why I view Milroe as the guy is because physically he just has a skill set that nobody else has. And if you can develop a better throwing ability, well, then all of a sudden you've got a Jaden Daniels on your hand. Now, I don't think he'll ever improve as a passer to that extent. But if he ever somehow did, then that's his ceiling, right? I don't know if Ty Simpson or those guys have that ceiling. So I feel like DeBoer might be willing to work with him a bit more in that regard. And then what was Michael Penix's time like in Indiana before he tore both ACLs or whatever? Didn't they used to run him a lot more?
They did, but he was never a runner.
Like a run first guy.
But you also have to remember, we're talking about Milroe's talent, very talented player. Austin Mack was the number 3 player, I think 3 quarterback, coming out of his class, in some services. He was a top talent guy.
Yeah.
He has the talent to be able to go out there and go throw for throw and impress you as well. He was a big recruit for Washington. I believe one of the highest rated they've had in their program's history when they signed him.
Damn, he's 6'6", 220.
Yeah.
It's a big boy. So that's something to watch. It's something to watch. What about you, Taylor? I know you have a Milroe take.
Y'all kind of know where I stand on Jalen Milroe. I think he is good for highlights. I think he can win you games. I think if your goal is to win a national championship, I don't think Jalen Milroe is that guy. I will agree with you, though, that it's probably his spot to lose, right? I think he did enough last year. And they always say nothing's set in stone. I think he's penciled in as a starter. Easy to erase that pencil mark, right? I think that I think that Jake is onto something here of they always want that quarterback, that spread offense, that sling it down the numbers. That's not who Milroe is. We saw him try to be that guy a few times.
He is a deep ball guy. That was his strongest part. I'm not going to say he throws a deep ball like Jaden or Penix did last year, but it's the short to intermediate stuff that gets him. If you're talking about getting Jay Miller to take shots, he'll take shots. It's how he ended up with such a super high yards per attempt, such crazy high efficiency.
Well, that was the thing about Penix that made him so great, right? He had the ability to go downfield, but he had all of those weapons at receiver. He could hit the crossing routes. I'm not sure Jalen Milroe can do that.
Yeah, no, I feel y'all. Man, that'd be crazy if it is just a penciled in situation. Because do you know what the market would be like for Jalen Milroe if he became available?
It'd be big.
It would be.
Half the SEC.
Look, he would make millions of dollars.
He couldn't go to the SEC because it'd be the later transfer window, and you couldn't go within conference. But that's not to say that he's not going to be a leader in the clubhouse. Not to say that he's not going to be I just think he'll have the opportunity. But Austin Mack was highly rated. Now, Ty Simpson was the number 2 quarterback overall, like coming out. And he stayed there. He didn't leave. He didn't go in the portal. So what was he told about the starting position and what his role would be in the competition? Because, like, you're not the number 2 player at your position coming out. You go to Alabama, and then you just stay there in today's NIL situation where you could go to Purdue or Louisville or wherever and make some money.
Yeah, and he played some last year, so he pushed Milroe in that regard last season. So who knows? Maybe Milroe's not even in that top 4. Maybe Milroe doesn't even start. I would still bet. I'm a betting man. I said he was. Last thing on Nuss here then. Do you think there's any chance that he actually ends the season statistically superior to Beck, Dart, Cook? Because that feels like a pretty big 3 right there.
He could.
Do you think Dart?
Because Dart likes to run.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm not saying like just raw. I'm saying if we like kind of look at their numbers overall, just to feel like, oh, he actually had a better season than Jackson Dart. I think that's. I think that'd be asking a lot. I think Jackson Dart's been getting really good. Made a huge jump from 2 years ago to last year.
Are you saying, do we think he can or do you think he will?
I mean, I guess I don't really.
Yeah, I hold Nussmeier in high regard as far as he's already had the experience, and so you don't get the opportunity to some growing pains. And I don't think Nussmeier would want you to say that either. Like, I think he's ready to hit the ground running. I think when you look at, again, the weapons that he has coming back, can they be this version of Malik and Brian Thomas?
Well, and speaking of the weapons, so you still got Kyron Lacey, right? You got Chris Hilton Jr. You also have C.J. Daniels. And that's what I want to talk about next because what's his name? Jamie Chadwell, the Liberty head coach, which, of course, where C.J. Daniels transferred in from, had some very interesting things to say about LSU and how C.J. ended up down here. Coming up next on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Go there today if you need a new vehicle. Maybe you want a Toyota certified used vehicle where you still get warranty coverage. Maybe you just need a rent. You want cheaper per-day rental price in your traditional rental companies. Go ahead and Miss Lisa Sessions over there. But that's the cool part, man. Like the All-Star Service Center, which I keep telling you about every day. That's open to everybody. And all makes and models, right? And when you bring your vehicle in there, if it's a big fix, well, guess what? They got the rental cars right there inside. They have a shuttle service. If it's just a day-long fix, it'll drop you off where you need to be and pick you back up later on. They have free professional estimates, excellent lines of communication. Insurance claims are welcome. If you mention OTB, Jake, or T-Up, you get $100 towards that deductible. So bring your car in today. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.
Go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Like T-Bob said, see what they have available when buying new, which is everything, leasing, everything, renting, everything. Everything is available in all those processes we tell you about every single day. Go to the website, allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
Bayou Ford has new 23 Ford F-150 STX trucks for only $39,995. $39,995 plus 1.9% financing for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to Six
country past the city limit sign where there's a honky-tonk near the county line. The joint starts jumping every night when the sun goes down.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
That boogie. It's so good, dude. Welcome back, OTB. Okay, so before the break there, and by the way, Alondra, I just saw your tweet from 11 hours ago, already popping off at Wake Forest baseball.
Oh, yeah.
We love to see it.
We do love
Using
to
the
see
gift
it.
from Black Panther. Is this your king? Alondra saying, is this your #1 team? Let him know. By the way, softball's up to what, number 6?
They're
after
undefeated,
a great
number
weekend?
6. Yeah, I
Let's
think
go.
that win over Oklahoma State bumped him up. Also, Northwestern was ranked too.
Yeah. They were like
Yeah.
22nd. Oklahoma State was.
22nd.
There was like somewhere in that. Because
Oklahoma
different
State was
polls.
6.
Yes, they were
Yeah.
top 10. They were anywhere 6 to 8.
Yeah.
So big time dubs.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so we were talking about the LSU weapons, talking about Garrett Nussmeier, right? Okay, who's Garrett Nussmeier going to have to throw to? I had an embarrassing moment where I went on with Braden Gall the other day, and like I was like, LSU's got great returning weapons, and then I just couldn't name any. So it was very embarrassing.
Wait, what show is this?
I just show in Nashville, but I was just like, you know what, guys, it's the off season. You got Chris Hilton, he's really fast. I couldn't remember anybody else. But the weapons are great, trust me.
That's why we love you.
What about well, I mean, a real tough, like, name the running backs. That's actually kind of hard right now.
Oh, no, it's not. You got 2.
Josh Williams
with
and
Trey
Caleb.
Holly up in the air, you have 2 running backs. You have Josh
so
Williams
why
and
are we
Caleb
saying
Jackson.
the running back in this position is going to be so good then?
Caleb Jackson, Josh Williams.
I mean, it was a surprise to me. Well, that's 2 guys. One, Josh Williams has played more football than anybody on that team.
Yeah, I feel great if Josh is there, for sure.
And then Caleb's somebody that is very ooh and ah, exciting. If he works on protecting the football, pass protection, those things, he could be an absolute beast. But I was surprised.
Durham coming in too.
Yeah, you do. And look, I'm not hating on my own position, but it's the one position where you can come in and play from day one.
Yeah, true.
But I was surprised Logan Diggs went into the portal. He had a good year in his home state. He transfers from Notre Dame to LSU, coaches he knew, and he went and now is playing for Ole Miss. That was a surprise to me that he went into the portal. Now, where he ended up.
I did not realize Logan Diggs went to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Brother, college football's crazy.
I'm pretty sure we talked about that.
Yeah, because it was
probably did.
Right after
I mean, I would imagine. I would hope that we did.
It was right after Judkins entered the portal, and everybody's like, he's leaving Ole Miss. And then like 2 days later, Logan Diggs said he was going to Ole
Yeah.
Miss.
I mean, the only thing I remember from all that is Lane Kiffin right after Judkins goes with the excellent catch and release tweet with the giant shark there. Anyway, so the point is, running back's a little sketchy, but that's not the point. The point is, let's start talking about receivers. Okay, yeah, you got Chris Hilton coming back. You got Kyron Lacey coming back. Talk about Aaron Anderson. You had Xavier Thomas from Mississippi State. He's going to be a great punt returner. And then you got all the recruits that like your Sheldon Sampsons, like whatever. They're going to end up being something. But you also added.
You still have Mason Taylor, real quick.
No, go ahead. Yeah, go. No.
You still have. You have some tight ends that you feel really good about. Remember last year,
fair.
You
Absolutely.
did sign a slew of tight ends,
Yes.
and that was a position that was a point of emphasis. And you still have, a guy in Mason Taylor that didn't have the year he had last year. He only had 36 catches, but still a very good receiving option, and like a quarterback like Nussmeier, who's been trained in this pro mentality of, okay, let me go through my progressions, not there, check down, tight end. Like he could have his biggest year to date too.
Yeah, and I also I still love the receiving potential of like a Kamorian Pimpton and stuff, and like somebody else is going to emerge out of that group. So that's also fair. But one of the big additions of the offseason was C.J. Daniels, the wide receiver out of Liberty, who was awesome last year. 10 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards. Jamie Chadwell took to the media recently and was basically complaining about how, group of 5 guys are getting poached for the Power 5. And he said, quote, "Those guys would be all conference for us. LSU paid for a car and an apartment and like $300,000. What do you do?" How about that? I love it. I read that and I'm like, hell yeah, good. That's the price of doing business. Yeah. You want a big-time receiver, you're going to have to pay. Good for CJ for getting that money. The conversation I want to have probably goes a little bit deeper and a little longer, so let's stick on just Chadwell, because I think I also want to talk Group 5, Power 5, but just on the Chadwell front, Taylor, you have consistently rolled your eyes all morning long when we have mentioned Jamie's name. What about his quote has you so upset?
First off, I used to like Jamie Chadwell. I really did. I think he's an outstanding coach. Why do coaches, they're going to get up there at the press conference and be like, I'm going to say something outlandish, and whether or not it's true, I have no proof of it. I'll never have any proof of it. It kind of just makes you look like an ass. And then he's saying, hey, our best players are getting poached from Power 5 schools. Is that right? And he may not remember this. He's got a lot going on. Luckily, I'm a lot more free than Jamie Chadwell is. Can anybody tell me where Caden Salter will be playing college football next season?
Did he didn't stay at Liberty?
He went to the transfer portal, and then he decided to return to the Liberty Flames. So what the hell did Liberty and Jamie Chadwell pay Caden Salter to stay in school?
Probably like $1 million. I mean, so that is
Liberty
one of the,
got that big church money too.
So I was going to say that is the ironic part about this from Jamie, is that like I'm sure some of his Group of 5 counterparts have felt the same way about Liberty when they have the best facilities and they have way more money to spend on players because Jamie Chadwell makes $4 million a year.
Well, and that's why he left Coastal Carolina. Yeah. He was doing awesome there. He had the good quarterback at Grayson McCall. He leaves because Liberty has enough funds and enough all that to get him to that school. And then you're going to pay your starting quarterback a ton of money to stay in school, but you're going to say, oh, well, the Power 5, they're poaching our players, guys. I don't know what to do. Shut up, dude. No, they're not. You're doing the same thing to the schools lower than you. Get out of here.
So I guess where I disagree a little bit is I think they are poaching your players.
They've always done this.
But yes, but I don't think that's like I fail to see why that's a bad. I can empathize. I understand why, if you are a fan of that team, if you coach that team, I understand why that would be upsetting. But a player doing well on a smaller level, and then based on merit, getting a chance to make more money and perform on a larger stage, that's not a sign of a broken system. Like, that's actually a sign of a system that is working. You earn bigger and better opportunity based on merit and performance and playing well. Like, I understand it sucks if you're the team losing those guys, but again, you're going to find me hard pressed to say that that's a broken system like they're trying to paint it as.
Well, and what about all the people that have transferred before NIL was even a thing? They just wanted to go get playing time or play on a bigger stage. I mean, should Ohio State be mad at Joe Burrow that he went to LSU?
Yeah, no, I mean, look,
this has gone on for years.
Okay, let's do this. Let's go to break. When we get back, I want to continue to kind of discuss this Power 5, Group of 5 divide, and is it wrong? Is it right? Do you want to add something, Jake, before we go?
I was just going to say, so you have Jamie Chadwell, who has kind of that mindset, and then you have like a Chuck Martin, who's the head coach of Miami of Ohio, and he's got kind of the complete different mindset. He's like, look, we had Ivan Pace Jr. He was a great player for us, all-conference player for us. We had him for 3 years, and he went to Cincinnati for his last year, and now he's a starting linebacker in the NFL for the Minnesota Vikings. He said, I use that all the time. Hey, you might not finish here, but if you start here, here's where you can get, and we can get you to that point. He said, I've been able to get so many players that I never would have been able to get because that's been my recruiting tool. And he also said, because of the transfer portal, I can go in the state of Ohio, which is a great high school football state. And he said, guys that were usually going to, Pitt or Purdue or a school like kind of in that mold, he goes, well, now they're available to come to Miami of Ohio. So there's two different ways that you could look at it.
And I want to continue this because, I think there's more to chew on here. Keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
KTOZblinds.com. KTOZblinds.com. That's your K to Z window coverings. And guys, gals, listen up. Chances are somebody in the relationship, or if you're single, maybe you are, somebody you know is probably into interior design, right? And whether you have a starter home of your dream, whatever the case may be, you want to take your home to the next level, K to Z is your avenue for doing so. And what's wild is you don't even really realize how much impact window coverings, exterior shading, like you don't even realize how much it can change your home, how it feels, how it looks, how it functions. And so get in touch with K to Z. Let him come out to your home. Jake did it. Blew his mind. K to Z window coverings.
Yeah, no question about it. Brandon's going to come in. He's going to learn your space. He's going to know your space better than you know it, and he's going to help you out in like 5 to 10 minutes, and he'll have it ordered right there. K to Z Blinds, incredible service, incredibly fast. KTZBlinds.com.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Value Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $17,500 off new 23 1500 Bighorn trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $17,500 off new Ram 1500 trucks. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us.
When the sun goes down on my side of town, that lonesome feeling.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. Hope everyone's having an excellent day today. Doing a little bit better now. So we've been talking Group 5, Power 5, and a lot of Group 5 coaches complaining that, the Group of 5 is just becoming a farm system for the big boys, for the Power 5, and then there's no way to keep up. And it's more kind of the same things we keep hearing about. All my time is spent fundraising, all my time is spent doing all of this. Again, I can empathize with all of this. But I do kind of ask the room, how much do you care? Or maybe less do you care, because we're all biased in that. Because as Jake always points out, we all root for a school that is in the elite club. So, we will never be left out the club. So maybe it's not do you care, maybe the question is more is there anything to be done about it? Or should anything be done about it? Because my question is, if you are a capitalist, isn't this all just a result of the free market, right? The reason why the NCAA hasn't been able to do anything anymore is because college football is being controlled by an organization, the NCAA, that skirted the free market, that should be subject to antitrust laws but wasn't for 100 years. So again, if it feels unfair now, it's just because it's finally more legal. It's more in line with the rest of American society. And it's okay, why is there a gap between the Power 5 and the Group of 5? Power 5 makes way more money. Ticket sales, donations, television contracts. And it's not even just a Power 5 Group of 5 thing, right? It's why you're seeing the gap develop between the SEC and the Big Ten. SEC and Big Ten teams are going to get $80 to $90 million a year, whereas ACC and Big 12 are going to have to try to operate on $40 to $50 million. You're going to see that gap continue to widen. And so, if you're somebody who's very upset about that, what is your solution? Is it to interfere with the market? Instead of relying on the invisible hand, do you want a very visible hand to come in and just force some of that money to go elsewhere? And like we said previously, I don't think a player playing well and then getting paid more and getting upgraded to a bigger stage, I don't view that as a sign of a broken system. I view that as a sign of the American system working by design.
Yeah, and we're headed to a place where we look more like European soccer than we ever have before.
Yeah, I mean, we just did. They just need to do it. Dude. They need to figure out some way
Premier
of doing
League,
it.
Championship, League One, League Two, and just you have different tiers to it. The Premier League in England has 20 teams.
Yeah.
And it's the premier 20 teams. Now, that changes at the bottom in relegation promotion, which you absolutely love because your team can be an 18th out of 20 and they're fighting for their lives. And then the last day of the season, the stadium is packed to the gills and you're sitting there, you're yelling for your team like they're going for a championship. That part of it is fun as well. As an Everton fan, I know that all too well. But you have different systems. And if you're a team in the championship that makes it to the Premier League, well, you get Premier League money.
Yeah.
Right? You're enticed to make it to that level. And if you're in the Premier League and you go down to the championship, they take that away from you. And so it is not the same. The MAC and the Sun Belt is never going to be the SEC. It's not to say on a given night, just like in the FA Cup, you can't go and just beat one of those teams because you had a better night than them. Yeah, we've seen it. Troy came in here and beat LSU. We all remember that in 2017.
Oof.
But when you look at the different levels and different tiers, and T-Bob said it, stadium capacity and TV viewership of when your team's on compared to when this team is on, we're headed towards that, and we can fight it, and we can love it. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's how it's going to end up. It is going to end up in some kind of tier system where this is the top 30 teams, here's the next 30, here's the next. We have 133 teams. And I would say any given year, the maximum amount of teams that could win a national championship is probably 20.
Ooh, I'd say that's being friendly.
Yeah.
I'd say that's
and that's
being
just
friendly.
because we've had Washington and TCU in the last 2 years kind of prove us maybe wrong.
Yeah, that's fair.
And those are still Big 12 and at the time Pac-12. Washington had won a national championship in our lifetime, right? And so even that seemed crazy.
Remember, there's that meeting going down today where we may get some of our first inklings about what the new Uber conferences are planning in the Big Ten and the SEC, as they're supposed to. I think they're supposed to meet at 10 a.m. today, or it was a 10-hour meeting. But this is the day now they approved the 5+7 playoff format, which is just the 5 highest conference champions and then the 7 next at large, which we already knew was going to happen. Now they have to start trying to decide revenue and everything else like that in 2 years, and that's where this tier system, I believe, is really going to come into play. The SEC, maybe like a Florida State and a Clemson, Notre Dame added into that mix. Then you'll have your kind of Big 12, ACC, maybe the bigger G5s in there, and then maybe a division under that. Maybe. We'll see.
I say go 30-30-30.
It'd be great. Do relegation. How could you incentivize them to do it? I don't know that you ever could. It'd be awesome, though. Hour 2 coming up next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Wednesday, February 21st. Today in Baton Rouge, expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 73. In hour 2 of today's show, Matt Flynn stops by the studio for a full hour of flestering. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Flush the format. Throw away the rundown. It's time for a bit of unscripted conversation.
Let's give them something to talk about.
For LSU and NFL quarterback Matt Flynn. Off the Bench presents Flestering. Now, here's T-Bob Hebert.
I'm so sweaty.
Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Can we just become best friends? Yep.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Welcome back, OTB Hour 2. I rewatched some of Step Brothers I told you the other day at the tail end of the bachelor party, just in a awful hungover hellhole. And one of the funnier parts is when they're learning to be adults, and Will Ferrell he runs out of toilet paper, right? And then I think he ends up wiping with like the bath mat essentially. And I love the part that he comes out of a Costco and he's got the big toilet paper. He's like, yeah, like yes, I'm learning, because I think we all actually know that feeling. The only thing is, why did he wipe with the bath mat? The best thing to do in that situation is to just get in the shower and bend over and spread, just completely. Right? I mean, it's basically at that point your shower becomes a giant bidet.
Well, what would a child do in that situation?
I was going to go sock.
So I missed the subtext. I see what you're saying. So that's what they're saying. Is that he's still childlike, and when you were a child, you reach for the nearest thing to wipe.
Yeah,
now,
when you're an adult, you would definitely just hop on in the shower.
Because he goes in the sink a little bit, but that didn't make. He's too tall. The angles don't line up at all. I just had me think a little bit. That's interesting, Matt. Thank you. And that's Matt Flynn, by the way, here for an hour of flestering. DrinkMyHigh.com. DrinkMyHigh.com. Do we know, does MyHigh help with like gastrointestinal health?
Absolutely.
Like, does it improve your stool in terms of cleaning?
You can't prove that it doesn't.
You can't prove that it doesn't. That's science, folks, from a noted science denier.
Hydration cures pretty much most things.
Yeah, pretty much everything, most things. Wait, what about how'd the boys trip go, dude?
Boys trip was good.
Yes, Sea Island. You did some like golfing or something?
We did some golfing, get a little fishing, played some tennis, actually. Not a tennis player.
I love tennis, dude. So much fun.
I kind of caught a little tennis bug.
I told you it's fun,
I played yesterday. Yeah.
How about
Super
it?
fun.
Great way to, you always want to find some things where you're tricking yourself into exercise.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's like one of the best ways to do it, because it's super fun.
For a guy that doesn't exercise, which is me, it's good to do. I need to find something.
I thought maybe you come in with some Lacoste shoes. Good to see you still have Nikes, though.
Look, man, we're going to get you on that,
is that the
tennis court eventually, Jake. We're going to get you on that tennis court, dude. Why not? What's wrong?
The good Lord made me for 1.5 sports.
Yeah, right. You're so low to the ground, you could change direction so quickly. You'd be a tennis beast, dude.
Yeah.
Low
I'd
impact.
rather play a little footy in the yard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You'd be a big pickleball guy.
That feels more my speed.
Mm-hmm.
Pickleball's great too. Way easier to just pick up and play too, than go in the full on tennis.
I mean, they're about to build. I mean, Gordon's about to build the one on Burbank. The shed,
yeah,
the old shed.
That's about to become all pickleball courts. I helped host that one pickleball event in where were we? Was that Zachary? I can't remember really. But yeah, it was this wild story of this pickleball community that had developed during COVID. The pickleball courts were all inside and they got shut down and everybody was forced out, and they started illegally gathering on these old decrepit tennis courts, and they spray painted their own pickleball outlines. And then now, like, when I went and hosted that thing there was like, I'm talking, it's a random Tuesday, there's like 200 players, old, young, black, white, everything, male, female. It was actually like very inspiring. But
I'm kind of on the outside looking in on pickleball, but I kind of feel like from the popularity standpoint, it might be on the backside.
It's the fastest. You
think
think
like it peaked?
You think the
it
boom
might be
is
kind of.
slowing?
I think the pickleball boom has got to be
Well,
slowing.
like many recent booms, it was in some way fueled by the pandemic, right? I mean, you saw tech booms where now there's like massive layoffs going on in all sort of video game companies and everything.
Trading cards.
Yeah, all collectibles boomed very, very hard.
People
for a
were
bit
so
there.
bored.
We were all just looking for something to do.
God, that was like, obviously you don't ever want to go through that again, but the family time, like just straight up family time that all of us got because like there's just things that we couldn't do. I did actually enjoy that.
I just remember drinking just endless amounts of beer walking around my neighborhood, just constantly with like a wagon playing Disney songs. Just,
I mean, we had
trying to do something around the
football.
house.
We had the boys, like football was going down in the front yard, and Katie and I would just sit there and watch, and like I give them a little like a announce, like they were coming out and play by play,
that's nice.
and
It
it
is
was fun.
Look, it was not all bad, you know. And look, I was in a different spot in my life, given that I had a couple young ones at the time, including one that was just born. But I was a little jealous of my boys, who all of a sudden got to work from home and were just gaming 24/7. I mean,
that's true. We had to come here every day.
They were just living on the sticks, living at home, barely to anything work responsibilities. I mean, they were no kids for a lot of them. They were just living like the true bachelor dream for about a year there. It was so I was a little jealous. There was always positives. There's positives to anything in life.
I was going to say, I think I played Warzone like majority of the time during the pandemic. Like me and my cousins would get on and we would even like Twitch stream it. Nobody would watch it.
You were streaming on Twitch?
I mean, nobody would watch it.
I want to find some old. I want to find some old archive.
It was so
Alondra
funny.
Warzone stream.
Did y'all do radio from home?
No, they made us come here.
We
never missed a day here.
Essential.
Yeah.
Essential workers.
We didn't miss a day of work either.
Hell no. People got to drink water.
They got to hydrate.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Did you come here during COVID?
Probably.
Yeah, definitely. Oh God, Scott Dice. I can't read that. That's
I was a little wishy-washy on the message.
I just did like whatever the place
A little.
whatever the
I think we were
place's
both
rules
a little-
were. I was like, okay, I'll do that. If I don't have to have one on, that's fine. If I do, I do. But but I do remember some of the craziness, like going to the grocery store at the very beginning, wearing gloves, masks. My wife was pregnant at times, so she couldn't go. And then the most annoying thing in the world, still to this day, sitting down and whatever. These are all first world problems, obviously, right? But sitting down on the doorstep and Lysoling every individual grocery.
Yeah.
I mean, bananas, toilet paper, apples, just Lysol, wiping it out, take like 30 minutes. So weird. So weird. We made it.
Did we ever figure out what the panic situation was on the toilet paper?
You couldn't find it. That's right.
Anytime,
Speaking of toilet
I
paper,
feel like
where this conversation started.
It wasn't like a digestible disease.
Doesn't Albert Einstein have something like, the world's going to end when the bees die? Anytime there's anything that freaks humans out, toilet paper's the first thing to get scarce.
It is.
I mean, anytime when, like we just talked about over the
I
second,
got a
we
good
all have
shower.
showers.
Got a good shower
Why
right
are we
there.
so worried about it? We got showers right there.
Bath
dude.
mats.
We have
Socks.
built-in bidets everywhere we go. We don't need to worry about toilet paper. What was the best football story that y'all chopped it up about on the boys' trip, dude? Can you say? Or is this all too much behind closed doors?
Behind closed doors, buddy.
Damn.
Come on.
Damn, dude. I don't know. I was just kind of awkwardly failing for some sick.
And that's also kind of like saying, "Hey, tell me the funniest joke you know."
Yeah, like do something,
Say something funny.
Do something
right
exactly.
Oh,
I would
my
love
clown?
to do that.
Am I here to amuse you?
Okay, you know what? Here then. Why don't you? You know what? You're right, Matt. I'm glad you said this. Let's talk some sports.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
How do you feel about Clint Kubiak, new Saints OC?
Yeah, Gary's boy.
Yeah, that's right. How do you feel about?
That's way more than I thought you would know.
Nailed that, didn't I?
How do you feel about motion? Because word on the street is he likes a lot of pre-snap motion.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's going to be bad. They're not going to be very good.
That's not what I expected.
Everybody that comes in with like all this motion stuff, unless you're that cat from Miami, it's all just like.
But he is Kyle Shanahan. That's how we're supposed to approach this. I see Clint Kubiak. I say Clint Kubiak, and then I say that's actually Kyle Shanahan. Like I think Clint Kubiak's the reason why they actually made the Super Bowl this year.
Okay.
But Kyle Shanahan's why they lost though, not Kubiak.
Mm-hmm. It's like saying Hester's sons are going to be great fullbacks because they came from the tree of Jacob.
I don't think that's like a crazy thing to say, is it?
Well, fullback might not be a position by the time they get there, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No,
none of them play fullback.
Yeah, I don't like. So I was in one offense in the NFL that was like every play was a shift in motion or a shift or a motion.
I was in one for 4
years.
It
was brutal and it sucked.
So you're being legitimate and you're saying that you don't enjoy that from a quarterback perspective.
Shifts and motions have a place and a time and a place. Motion certainly more than shifts, especially if you have like really elite talent that you're trying to get really good matchups with.
That's what we were more motion than shifts because we were trying to free up Gates.
Yeah, and that's fine. But a lot of coaches just get into if there's a reason for what you're doing, like specific game plan reason, like you don't need to go into day one of training camp and all you're doing, every single study hour, minute that you have is trying to memorize the names of all these shifts and all these motions.
Do you even Matt Canada?
Yeah, Matt Canada is awful.
I mean, to your point,
what are you talking about? Matt Canada's been in NFLC for years now.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it'd be like
just because he's an NFL OC doesn't mean he's a good OC.
Bunch right, blast to
he's a
jack
bad
right.
one,
So it's real wordy because it'd be bunch right, blast to jack right, 99 stop F cross M.
Yeah.
And like it's like you got to remember our blast is on bunch and I'm here and I'm going to jack and
blast before jack.
Yeah, because you'd be bunch right and then you'd blast, which is the movement to jack right.
Okay.
Which is fullback offset to the tight end side.
I hate to say it for all you Saints fans. You're going to win 7-8 games. It's going to be fun when you win.
It's not true. We hired Keith Williams as wide receiver coach. You even know about Keith Williams? He's been an assistant wide receiver coach for the Ravens for the last 3 years, Matt. Okay?
That's a good point. Good team.
And before that, he was a private wide receiver trainer that worked with the likes of Tyreek Hill. And Devontae Adams.
He's a good player.
Your boy.
Basically,
Devontae Adams.
Tyreek and Devontae are on the Saints.
Exactly. Because you got Keith Williams.
Basically. So until you make a wholesale change from the top to the bottom, you're not going to attract any free agents.
This man next to me played for Dennis Allen.
No,
He's tried to tell you something.
But no, well, and Matt's already told us on this show before that the original sin really lies with Mickey Loomis.
Yeah. It needs to be a whole change.
Which,
great guy. Doesn't mean anybody's a bad dude.
That ain't happening. So it is what it is.
Yeah, 7-8 games.
The
good 9 might be a really good year. 9 wins.
That's what they had this year.
It's a winning record.
That would get everybody fired. They have to win. They have
not
to
everybody.
Playoffs.
According to you, not everybody.
You're right. No, that would not get Mickey Loomis fired.
Then they'll just sign. They'll hire another San Francisco 49ers assistant next year.
What if we hire Clint Kubiak to be head coach next year? That's what I'm talking about.
Gary's boy?
Yeah.
Gary was a great head coach.
He was. Super Bowl winning.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He ended up winning the one.
Or just Kyle Shanahan. Just get him.
Yeah.
Tyreek.
Mike's son.
Get Devontae. Mike's son. Yeah. Mike's boy.
His eldest, I think.
Well, there you go, guys. It looks like the Saints are actually going to suck, according to Matt Flynn. Way to go.
I mean, it's not a bold prediction.
This whole
is that a bold prediction? Is that a hot take? No. I didn't say they're going to suck.
No, not
so they were going to.
That's the problem, though.
Said they're going to.
They're not good, and they don't
stink.
suck enough to be able to go out there and get a top quarterback.
What do you do about DeMario Davis? He's 35 years old. but he looks awesome. He looks as awesome as ever. But I'm saying, but you just don't like. You've got Warner, but he's about to be a free agent. Dave's got 1 year left as well, and then Zach Bond's already a free agent. Like, how do you give DeMario another kind of big deal?
I mean, he's 35. I wouldn't say give him a huge deal. A 2-year deal would be probably your maximum. I mean, 35, and even though he's playing at a very high level, and Matt can probably back me up here, like you can be playing at a high level in the NFL, and then you come back the next year, and at some point, it's gone.
Really?
Like I've seen it happen before.
One day you just don't have it anymore.
I mean, you could second, you could jam your big toe, and that's just like it bothers you the entire season. Like little things like that when you get older affect you a lot longer.
Yeah.
And what's the famous thing that Jimbo used to say to us, and a lot of coaches used to say to us? First day of training camp, they're like, "Enjoy it. This is the only day you're going to be 100% healthy."
Yeah.
All season.
Yeah, so when you become 36, 37 years old, what Matt's talking about, that sprained ankle that when you were 26, you can put some ice on it and be fine.
Yeah.
It's going to slow you down.
Stops doing it.
Yeah. Well, coming up next, we'll get Matt's thoughts on the weekend rotation for LSU.
Hey, I'm gonna cheer for the Saints though this year.
Position battles.
I'm excited for it.
It sounds like it. Sounds like it.
I don't believe you. When we get back, more OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Coleman Roofing and Construction for 41 years, guys. Coming up on 42. Coleman's been the most reliable, most respected roofing company in Louisiana. And what's crazy is how do you not just stand test time, how do you grow to the point where you can service all of Louisiana, the entire Gulf South region? How do you grow to the point where you have certified installers for all the different major types of roofs? How do you grow to the point where you can do any commercial job, any residential job? It's because you have a dynamic, ever-evolving, passionate, aggressive culture, okay? And that means serving you aggressively, okay? And they do it all, roofing, construction. Get in touch with them today, Coleman Roofing and Construction.
41 years is a long time.
It's a long time.
That's older than Flynn and I.
I'd give him a big extension, multi-million extendo.
Yeah, they can come back from a sprained ankle.
Yep.
ColemanRoof.com is the website throughout the state of Louisiana. They are truly a one-stop shop, commercial, residential, and construction as well. ColemanRoof.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales service and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. the local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
From San Antonio, everything that I got is just what I've got on. When that sun is high in that Texas sky, I'll be bucking at the county fair. Amarillo by morning, Amarillo, I'll be there.
This is a good one to have in the head.
Flynn, you're a true Texan.
Mm-hmm.
Is George Strait the standard, like in Texas, of country music?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
I hadn't lived in Texas, obviously, since I was in high school.
You've lived here longer than there, right?
Yeah. So, like, when you're in high school and in college, like, you kind of want the underground type music. So,
Okay.
it was like the old, like, Texas country, like Roger Krieger. Like, Pat Green was kind of like
Roger Krieger. I love him.
Like, Pat Green was kind of like the popular one of, like, the underground
And
scene.
Pat Green played, like, the smaller college town.
Yeah.
Like, Pat Green was in Ruston, I swear, like, every month, like, at least once.
Pat Green's awesome.
Like, Roger Krieger, like, Blue Edmondson, like a lot of those guys. But, of course,
Yeah,
George
we're
Strait
talking like
is
Charlie Robinson.
he's the standard of everything.
Yeah.
He's the standard of country music, probably, right?
I mean,
he's got the most hits.
For our age.
He's got the most hits.
Probably.
The fiddle in that song gets me.
I mean, you've got
I love a good
Billy
fiddle.
Ray Cyrus. But
outside of Billy Ray.
No, Taylor, Dierks Bentley is not the standard of country music.
No, there's no probably about it. George Strait has more number one hits than any artist in any genre.
Yeah.
Just like ever?
Yep.
He's the king.
I thought
Taylor, you look like a big, like, Sam Hunt
I
guy.
thought Drake
Yeah,
had
the king
some
would be
record
Elvis.
like that.
Drake, as in, like, are we thinking of the same Drake?
Yeah, no, like I thought Drake broke like Michael Jackson's record or something for like most number one hits. You're saying
I think
George
it was
Strait acts as
most
the
weeks at number one.
Okay, something. Let's get a little fact check. Can we get a fact check on Taylor there? I don't know if I believe
pretty
him,
sure-
but
I'm
I
pretty
believe
sure-
What's he
Drake. That's all
claiming?
good. He's claiming
He has
George
more.
Strait
He
is-
has more number one hits than any artist in any genre. I believe it's 58, but it might actually be 60.
What list?
Billboard Top
Billboard?
100. I'm guessing.
Top 100?
Yeah.
Or have to eat
Like
after
number
It's got to be
one.
like top country song, right?
See, that's what I don't know. He's trying to claim top 80.
Artists with the most number one songs on the Hot 100. Let's see. All right, I'll keep talking. Give me a
Okay.
second. Sorry.
I
The Beatles.
set it up.
The Beatles, 20 number ones.
Okay.
No, there's more people.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what
20
Mariah
number
Carey
ones
has
is not-
19 number ones.
I look.
I mean,
I look.
Usher has like
guys,
11.
This is
Yeah.
Billboard.com.
No, hold on, time out. This is bad science, guys. We don't have a lot of defined parameters. There's too many variables at play. We're arguing. Who even knows we're talking about the same thing? This is bad science. We have to pull back. We can during the commercial break.
We can get some facts.
That's what I'm saying. In the commercial break.
Factually, who the greatest band is
Yes,
of all time.
during the commercial break, we can zero in our searches and strengthen a bit, or maybe continue to work on a lot to see if you can. Because
I'm just reading off straight off Billboard.com, which apparently is the list that we're going off of.
20 seems low because like Usher had 11 when I
Yeah.
was doing my Super Bowl
I don't know.
research.
Like I said, I'm going off the Billboard thing.
I mean, Usher had some bangers, but I wouldn't put him that close to the Beatles.
Like the Billboard. I can understand George Strait having the most number ones in his genre of any artist ever.
Yeah, it's tough. There's.
I don't think a lot
no
of George
way.
Strait songs are making it on like the Hot 100 top.
Jamie says
Not
Conway
number one in
Twitty.
Casey Kasem's.
Conway has 55.
Jamie
George
says
has
Conway
more.
Twitty has 55. Number one country.
Slow Hand by Conway Twitty.
George
is
has
so
58.
Good.
George has more.
When Conway was rolling out the hits,
Lonely
it wasn't a
Blue
lot
Boy
of,
by
wasn't a lot
Conway
of
Twitty.
That's a good one,
competition.
too.
Wasn't a lot of competition.
But I love
Oh,
Slow Hand.
We will not slander Conway Twitty's name here.
See,
great,
there you go.
but is he good enough to
There you go.
55?
Matt C.
Matt's point stands.
Yes.
It's a smaller field
Lack of
that he's competing against.
Well, music has been that is dumb.
It's a bit of
No,
a sports
in this
conversation where you
genre.
can't compare eras because everybody's
no,
operating
no,
on the
guys,
same
like they
playing
didn't play
field.
music back
No,
then.
we're not talking Billboard. Like just like the chart of like okay, what I mean is of any genre. Like George Strait has more country #1 hits
Okay.
than any
There we
other
go.
person has in the
Same.
genre.
Country
Yes.
hits.
Now
You didn't make that clear.
Now that
I
makes a
apologize.
little
Well,
more
when I
sense.
heard friggin' 20, I was like, that ain't right.
That's what we're saying. Like Conway's good, but Conway's not good enough to have 55 #1s unless he's like in a not a very good fit.
I think Rivers is right. She says everyone's talking about different lists. It's perfect. I do think we're all having slightly different conversations.
I think we
yelling
are.
at one another,
It's
thinking
60.
that we're
It's
talking about the
60.
same
I thought it
thing.
was
just lost
58.
at the Conway Twitty disrespect. Like they didn't play music when he was there. It was only Conway.
Yeah,
and that
only
was
Conway,
it.
and
Now
that's
you're
why
like
he's
a little
number
country
one.
kid, and you sing at Walmart one time, and then you got a record deal.
Oh, my
that didn't
God.
happen as much back in the day.
Back in
Love
Conway
Conway
saying there was
Twitty.
like 5 country artists in.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And
Right?
one of them got out of the music game to make sausage.
Yeah.
Jimmy Dean.
Yeah.
1960s country, outside of like the top 2 or 3 guys,
Loretta
was
Lynn.
like a group of 5.
I mean, Marty Robbins.
Big
I mean,
Bad
what? Golly.
Here you go, T-Bob.
No respect
There's
for George
hits.
Jones.
Got it right here.
Okay,
Yeah.
Taylor.
Are we
thinks he
forgetting
has
about George Jones
Yeah.
completely? Like,
Yep.
what is
the
going on?
sad song king?
Over his 33-year recording career, George
Yeah.
Strait has 60 #1 hits, more than any other performer in history. That's combining the number of his songs that have topped the Billboard charts at 44 with the number that have topped other media-based charts, which is another 16.
Okay, so that's regardless of genre. Then that
Go-
sounds like maybe
That's GOAT status for
That
sure.
is GOAT status. So it's official. OTB stands by the statement: George Strait better than Conway Twitty.
Well,
Fact.
I would say
Is
that
that-
regardless
Yeah, I
of
think
#1
so.
hits, but
It's close.
It sounds like he's 8 #1 hit or 3 #1 hits better.
I
George
don't
Strait
think
better than-
it's close.
Better
but-
than Hank. Better
You
than
don't
Johnny
even-
Cash.
I
The
wouldn't put
stats
Hank
punch
up.
you.
Better than Waylon.
Stats don't lie.
Yeah.
The thing
for
is
sure.
like that's all different country music. I feel like.
Well, look, that's what we do in sports, right? If we're gonna sit here and compare freaking Johnny Unitas to
Fair.
Brock Purdy, like that. I mean, that's just it's different. That's how it goes. It's the way
Sure.
she goes. Shout out George Strait. He'd be my personal favorite. I don't really love country music, and he is by far
I
the
love
person that
George
I've
Strait.
listened to the most.
Yeah, this is not music's not an opinion thing though. It's
It's
fact.
objective. I agree. Subjectivity
Stats
has no
do
place
not
here.
lie.
Does Garth Brooks not have the #1s that are close to George Strait either?
Yeah, that's.
Like, I feel
I'm
like that's a
curious
name
about
we haven't
that.
brought
Yeah,
up yet.
because I always have this argument like within my family. We're always like, who's the king, Garth Brooks or George Strait? And like about half of us say George Strait, the other half say Garth Brooks.
Who would you most want to have a beer with?
Garth
George
Brooks has 19.
Ooh,
That seems so low.
Super low.
He had more competition.
I'd rather have a beer with George Strait though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a beer with George Strait, but I'd rather go see Garth Brooks.
Yeah. Garth Brooks
Different
puts
show.
on a great
I've,
show.
I've been to 5 of a piece.
Look,
like
the
of both of
bottom
them.
line is
Different
Garth
show.
is a game manager. Okay, he's in a friendly system. He's a system guy. Okay, it ain't like George. You drop George on any team, that team's immediately Super Bowl relevant. Leader of men.
Even Cam Newton approves of George Strait.
Yeah, like yes, under the Cam Newton game manager metric, George Strait would not be a game manager. Garth Brooks is.
I kind of don't care what a man who wears like fedoras with feathers hanging out of him and crazy ass clothes has to say about George Strait.
There is nothing funnier than that take Cam Newton had on the game manager thing going so viral, and he looks like a nutcracker.
He looks ridiculous.
It looks awesome. He looks like a literal toy soldier nutcracker as he's making these serious points, cigar in mouth. Do you realize how like comfortable or success? We should all aspire to be so comfortable and successful that we put on our nutcracker fit that day. We're like, oh, hell yeah, dog, let's go.
Well, and
About
look,
to go do some work.
Brock Purdy lost that Super Bowl. If he would have fumbled, I believe he would have jumped on it and I just looked at it like Cam.
Oh,
so
wow.
Dang.
Okay, so you're going to sit here and try to say that Brock Purdy's better than Cam Newton?
No, but he was better in the Super Bowl. He had one Super Bowl.
Stand
Cam
by
had
your
another.
take.
Brock had a lot better game.
Stand by your take.
Double down.
Do you think Brock Purdy's better than Cam Newton?
He had a better Super Bowl.
I want Taylor to say that he stands by
Taylor
that
has
take.
no problem standing by his takes.
Yeah.
Taylor is exploding at the seams with takes 24/7.
24/7.
True.
About anything.
Just the other day, he was yelling at us on a Monday about how the Grammys got it right.
They
And
did.
I can't even remember which musician.
It was
Laney
Laney over Morgan Wallen.
Yes,
They
yes,
got-
sure.
I thought they got it right.
Sure. Hell yeah. I agree, dude.
Should have been George.
Straight.
I wasn't here for that because we would have had a good debate.
No, you weren't here.
Yeah.
You would have gone Wallen over Laney?
It was for album of the year, is what it was.
I would like to debate Taylor just to debate him.
You would have got it wrong then, because the Grammys got it right.
Grammy got it right.
We debated it for a minute.
Matt,
I will say to answer your question, Cam does have an MVP. Brock doesn't.
Yeah,
that's where my head was. Yeah.
Well, I
It's just an easy way to get out of that.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
very
biased. I'm biased as well because
he holds Cam to the highest regard of anybody I've ever met,
well,
which
he's the
is
best,
okay.
He's the best football player that I've ever seen
Right.
live in my life when we played him in college. Maybe if you want to say what he did in the NFL, whatever.
No, the
But
game
I mean,
that you're talking about,
he
I
also
can
took,
understand.
but it's that whole season.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
I mean, and then even when he was at Blinn Community College, and then he goes to the NFL, and with what Ted Ginn is his best. No, he had T. Smith.
Blinn.
He had T. Smith Jr. Excuse me, I apologize.
Steve Smith's going to come through that
No,
door.
no. That's why I apologize, Steve. Everybody relax. But I don't feel like that was like the most uber. I don't feel like that was I don't know, whatever. They went 15-1 and went to Super Bowl.
Yeah, no.
I used to be a big Cam Newton fan. I had a shirt with Cam Newton dabbing on it.
Hell
I wonder if I could still find it.
Oh, yeah, he made the dab cool.
Yeah, he would dab
Forgot
after
about
like
that. A lot of
everything.
dads
And I was
really
in high
enjoyed the
school.
dab.
Yeah, I was in high school at the time. So like that was our thing. Like on the softball team, anytime we did something cool, we dab.
We also did the y'all remember the old Superman T-Bob? He'd scored
Yep.
and slow mo.
Yeah.
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 Did you used to do that in track?
I absolutely did not do that in track.
No?
No.
You did the Usain Bolt where you...
No, I was the one like reaching out like, guys, slow down, wait for me. Like can we all cross together?
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah.
Taylor likes a firm handshake in lieu of a celebration. Taylor's a classic. Act like you've been there before. Hand the
Okay.
ball back to the ref type.
Not
of
the
guy.
case. I love the celebrations in the NFL. I wish they did a little bit more in college. There's some I don't like.
That's why I liked Trevor Bauer when he was pitching for the Dodgers and stuff.
Did
He would
the
do the
sword?
sword, yeah. When he get a strikeout. Also, he just
I think
has-
you can say you like Trevor Bauer again. Is that?
I like Trevor Bauer. I don't
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
care.
I think all that
Yeah,
guy-
I'll double down
I
on
mean,
that all
I
day.
like Trevor Bauer.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
he
like
came
that
out
all
with a
got-
video telling his story.
Yeah.
And I think everything got dropped, right?
Well, who
Yep,
was it?
everything got dropped.
I'm not going to wade in the waters, but that is also kind of my
I
understanding.
will
as
dive
well.
into the water.
I'll remain-
Jamal Murray. Y'all
I'll
remember
remain
Jamal
Bauer
Murray's celebration?
agnostic. Be careful diving into those waters.
I'll dive
now.
into those waters.
He seems a little freaky. That's all I'm saying. I mean, just be.
I'll dive headfirst into those waters.
Wow. Well, what were you saying, Taylor?
The Jamal Murray. Remember, all the LSU fans got mad, but then everybody started doing it as
bow?
well. Jamal
See a
Murray
bow?
scored like 7 threes against LSU, and then he'd pull out the bow and arrow. Remember?
Oh,
So-
yeah.
and then every kid started doing it.
Bo's always been. I mean, how tight was it when Penix would throw like a 70-yard touchdown last year and then just hit the long bow? It's one of
You
the
got
most
to pull it, though.
badass.
If you don't pull it,
have
it's
to.
not as
Yeah,
good.
from the quiver, full extension. Let that thing fly. Because think
Right?
about like
From the quiver.
From the quiver.
I mean, Matt, you can appreciate that much better than we can.
Why?
Just it probably feels so tight to hit a super accurate deep ball.
That's pretty cool.
Like,
It's a
what
good
is it?
feeling.
What is it? What is it? Is it? Does it feel like you just launched like a bow at a target and hit it from like 100 yards away? Just took down a big animal.
I can
big
imagine.
wild predator.
Do you know it's so like we all know the feeling because I think we all played some level of baseball or softball here. When you hit a home run, you feel it on your hands.
Yeah.
Like
You
like,
know when
you
it's-
never hit
yeah.
a home run that felt like really bad on your hands. As you know, quarterback, when you throw a deep ball, as soon as it leaves your hand, do you know?
You know when you throw a good pass. I mean,
Okay.
for sure. I mean, even especially deep ball, 'cause you throw to your receiver so many times. Like, you know when it's a good pass or a good ball, but like different from a home run when you know it's a solid hit off the bat. Like you never really know because the guy still has to catch it.
Yeah.
and
True.
stay in
So you break it up.
stride. And
What about when
but
you?
it's a really relieving feeling when they do catch it.
What about when you launch one and you get off at the last second and you just get obliterated and you're laying there on the ground and you're face down in the turf? Are you just listening for the crowd?
Yeah.
How do you know whether or not it worked?
You watch the crowd, or like you turn and you look at the jumbotron.
You're laying on your back.
Most
you
of
got hit by a 300
I would
pounder.
say
You're like, oh,
I would
yeah.
say probably like 30% of your passes you never see. Probably.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I would say our longest connection was probably like 40 yards, Arkansas. They had call back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing not a lot of that was through the air.
No, 40 was through the air.
You threw 40 yards downfield to you?
I ran a rail route, yeah.
Wow.
It was like at least 30.
Against who was that against?
Arkansas.
Oh, got called
Look
back.
at that.
Got called back.
Dang.
We should have had one.
Because Early and JoJo were lined up.
Bro, they lined up over.
We should have had one in the Peach Bowl.
Oh, you did? That was a dime.
Dropped it.
Whoa, no.
Yeah, it was
a tough catch, but
hold on. We're bringing up this film for next segment.
It was a great throw.
Maybe
the best throw you've ever had.
Ever in my life.
More flustering coming up next here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Trash Rangers, local companies. That's what we love being partnered with here on OTB. And Trash Rangers, we are so pumped to be working with Trash Rangers. If you live in Livingston or you live in Ascension Parish, chances are you've seen the red cans, the red trucks around the community. Okay, that's Trash Rangers. And you're seeing more and more of your neighbors make the switch because there's just advantages at every level. Convenience, price point, customer service, the fact that both the trash and the profits stay here in Louisiana and go back into your community, the sports teams, through churches, things like that. But look, you go to trashsignup.com and in 3 minutes, you choose your amount of cans, your pickup days, all that. It's so easy to make the switch. Y'all make the switch today. Trash Rangers, trashsignup.com.
4.7 rating out of 2,610 ratings, right? That's just who they are. That's what you're going to get. Reliable weekly service, no hidden fees, weekly text reminders, trashrangersllc.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
He's here. Anyone want a Coors Light?
Oh, shoot, I forgot to play the song. I got a guy who can fix this.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The best-kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Looking into the night, not seeing what you wanted to see. Darling, don't say a word.
Welcome back, OTB. Hanging out, doing some flustering here on a Wednesday. And we got it, Taylor? Yes, no, yes, no, yep. Okay, so we didn't find the play yet of Flynn to Hester, but we did find some funny pregame footage before that LSU-Miami Peach Bowl back in the day. Let's take a little listen.
The question remains now for LSU. They lost their starting quarterback, Jamarcus Russell, to an injury in the SEC championship game. Here comes Matt Flynn, a sophomore. Never started a game before. He's got to go against the Canes defense.
Good news and bad news. The good news is you get to start. The bad news is you go against the #1 passing defense in the nation in the University of Miami. This kid's probably got butterflies the size of buzzards. But he's a good football player. He came out of Texas, one of the top players coming out of Texas. Again, he's a third-year sophomore, so he's been around. He knows the program. I think he's going to do very well. He can't wait to get out there and do this thing.
Usually big games and big bowl game events like this come down to somebody doing something special. There's two very special players on these teams tonight. With more on that, third member of our crew, as always, on the field, Lynn Swan.
Okay, I mean, he ended up being right on his call.
Strong. Butterflies as big as buzzards.
That's what I was saying.
NFL Hall of Famer was in that game. My cousin, Devin Hester.
Oh, yeah.
Did you indeed have butterflies as big as buzzards?
Not as big as buzzards. I had butterflies.
Yeah, but I mean,
sure.
of course. I mean, you had some for sure.
Let's see. Probably as big as like a
bird, like a songbird.
Bigger. I'd say bigger than a songbird.
Maybe like a peregrine
jay.
Falcon.
No, not that big.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say domestic. Like it's just a blue jay.
Okay. Yeah, blue jay makes sense. Blue jay makes sense.
We're such meatheads. We're like cardinal blue jay,
a robin.
I did not realize Miami #1 pass defense in the country going into that game.
They had pros.
Choo!
Everywhere.
You gonna learn today, Miami?
I remember. So that week leading up to it, we I think we hosted our hotel like the banquet beforehand where Miami came, LSU's there, like they're on one side, we're on the other side, and it was at our hotel, and we had like the makeshift weight room that Tommy Moffitt had put together where we worked out, and the Miami team had to come like walk by the makeshift weight room, and so there was one of the strength coaches that was like a meathead, really strong, was like power cleaning like 400 pounds. And when the Miami team started walking by, Tommy Moffitt was screaming, "Yeah, Matt Flynn, get it, Flynn!" While he's power cleaning 400 pounds.
Prison techniques.
Yeah, exactly.
Prison techniques.
That's right. Mind games.
You have the play?
I have the play.
Okay, hold on. Before we get to the play. Wait, by the way, yes, we do. But by the way, this is the game for the young heads. LSU won this game 40-3. Yeah. In case you don't know, absolutely dominated the hell out of Miami and fought him and beat their ass too in the tunnel.
I mean, if we're going to show this one, which I don't mind, like we got to show.
We get a recovery play. We get a recovery play. So here is Flynn to Hester. Flynn to Hester, big play opportunity. Let's go.
Carey is in at the tailback spot. They fake it to him, and Flynn's going to the corner of the end zone. Almost there, incomplete.
He's been playing a little bit, but obviously he's not himself.
Skyler.
Actually, I didn't realize it was in the end zone.
Oh yeah.
Oh, bro, that thing was.
There's a really good picture of it. Like,
give it to me without audio. Without audio, I just want to see it again.
I think I have the picture, like, because again, you've sent it to me so many times.
So Jake's lined up at fullback. We got a little play action. Who's that? Sharon Carey.
Yeah, Shy.
And then he throws it right over the outside edge of the. Oh, look at Jake, too. Oh, no. I didn't miss that the first time. How mad were you in that moment?
Like I was telling Matt during the break, that would have been to that point, that would have been the biggest play of my LSU career. I mean, I was playing fullback my freshman year. That year I scored a couple touchdowns, but nothing like that against Miami in a bowl game. And so
you make that catch, people are like, whoa, this guy's got hands.
Yeah.
Also, is that how you know you're an NFL quarterback when you're throwing that to a fullback? That feels very like I guess
Jake never dropped that in practice. That was a tough catch.
It was a tough catch.
Number one, who was number one? Number one was a pretty
Phillips,
good play.
ended up being a long
he
time
was a good
NFL
player.
guy.
There you go.
Kyle
You just
Phillips,
burned an NFL DB.
Yeah.
Suck it, nerd.
Caught it, though.
Okay, Jake.
We gotta find one like later in the game.
You pick a play that you want us to show.
All right, we're going the other way. So find
Yes.
this one. It's a stretch to the left behind Andrew Whitworth.
Like what quarter?
Probably third.
Okay.
Probably. Is that the second quarter?
That was 6.5 minutes to go in the second.
Okay, third quarter, going the other way.
Yeah, you can dive into. You can always dive into an old play-by-play of the game as well if you need to try out.
This is like every play, no huddle. It's only 38 minutes. So this is probably easier.
Pretty cool.
Well, look, I mean, just
Damn, that was a dime though.
It was
certified
great
dime.
pass. What'd you say like in that moment? Because I was when I was on the ground right there, I was having a self-talk. Calling myself some names.
Bro,
I remember that moment.
It's such a bad feeling.
Vividly.
It's the worst feeling.
I was third year, first start into college. I was all about the cliches. Let's go. Next play. Next play.
Once to have it clear. Once to have it clear, baby.
I was a cliche guy, baby.
All right, when we get back, more Fletching.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All-Star Toyota BatonRouge.com. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Jam says, I don't like Jake with skill play. Show us blocks or truck sticks. Yeah.
Let me look.
Show me Florida. Show me Florida where he puts the guys, or the guy
I have
churns
much better
the
ones
earth.
than that one.
Yeah.
All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. Well, look, the bottom line is y'all both ended up being all-stars, I would say. So if you were vehicles, you'd be like a Toyota Sienna and maybe like a Tundra, right? And I would buy both of you.
Thank you.
And I would ride around inside of you all day, and you would know that when you felt that little tickle, that was
you.
My hair opening up the doors.
That's Tickle Bob.
And whatnot. Yes, that was just Tickle Bob. So you too should join All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. Yes. It's a Cajun thing. I don't know. It's weird. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. So remember, you go to the service center, all makes and models welcome. And you mention OTB, T-Bob J, get $100 towards that deductible, All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Value Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $17,500 off new 23 1500 Bitcoin trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $17,500 off new Ram 1500 trucks. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
There's never been a better time to catch a John Deere deal from the crew of Sunshine. Ask us about our low monthly payment options on our tractor packages and let the good times roll. With equipment strong enough to power one of the world's largest celebrations, we've got your needs covered too. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offer ends April 30th, 2024.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
The best kept secret in town.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Is my name. Oh, and I might have found it. Hold on now. Y'all talk for a second.
Who that face mask?
Jake's breathing heavy.
Ooh. Oh, gassed.
Well, it looks like they started running the hell out of you in about the third quarter on. So go ahead and salt this thing out, boom.
And I was there for all of it because we had, like, Joe Adai hurt his hamstring, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right.
JV got hurt on kickoff. Chiron either missed a block or fumbled, and same thing with Allie. Like, same situation, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like one of those deals where Les, like, looked over, basically, and was like, grab me, get in there.
Get in there.
Like, all right, Bo.
Yeah, that was
I'll
such
go
a
run
good,
that thing.
That's such a good running back crew. That's like, all of y'all were in the doghouse at some point.
Yeah,
right. Maybe you were probably the only one.
Because
that wasn't,
there was always somebody to. This has to be it here. I think I found it here. Yep, stretch left, stiff arm. All right, there he goes. Okay, timestamp. Timestamp is going to be 1 hour 57 minutes and 10 seconds.
I mean, that's really quick how you just found that and how you were going back and forth.
Did I look like I was in Minority Report?
You felt like I was watching Social Network and you were, what they called it, like, not locked in.
When he's like drinking beer and he's like, I'm going to find ways to talk about how hot women are online, and then he creates Facebook.
Like, what's he talking about in social? Like, he's like plugged in, wired in.
Yeah, jacked in, basically.
Yeah, when like
in the Matrix.
You want the audio?
Andrew Garfield. Yeah, I mean,
let's get it with the audio. Little redemption for our guy Jake. Salting away the game. They're imposing their will on this #1 defense. And here's a big run as Jake. They're just like running out the game behind Jake.
There at the single back spot. And he gets the call. And a nice stiff arm and a good run around the left side. And then he just bowls over Brandon Merriweather. Wow, nice run.
Was that Andrew Whitworth that ran up to you?
Yeah.
Look at how tiny you look compared to Andrew Whitworth. That man is a giant.
That was the only game that I ever got to run behind that offensive line. It was so easy running behind that offensive line.
Dude, look at that truck. Boom.
I mean, they were incredible.
Who is 19?
Brandon Merriweather. You remember him?
Yeah. That's an NFL guy.
Who's that backer? Was it number 2 for them? Didn't they have a number 2?
Oh, they had a Beeson. Yeah, same as Beeson.
Played for the Panthers.
Jonathan Beeson, right?
For a long time.
Yeah,
good player.
They had a great defense.
They had a good defense.
We beat the hell out of them.
They didn't really want to play in that game.
Oh, they quit.
But.
Hey, turns out.
I can remember it like Xavier Carter. Whoa, that's a blast. I remember hearing Moffitt on that play just crank that mother diesel. Wow.
So what year? That was 05. So is that? So that's Katrina year. That's Miles' first year.
Yeah.
And that's the year where Tommy Moffitt always told us that was the best team he thinks they ever had. But Katrina was just so insane that like the whole team was just dog ass tired because there was no bye week and there was so much just
real life stuff to have to work through at the beginning of the year that it kind of doomed that team in some ways. Finished 11-2 though.
I mean, I won't argue that. We were good.
The anecdote that he
really
always
good
used was that he never sleeps on planes, and that when they took off for the SEC championship, he passed out before takeoff and did not wake up till they went wheels down. And he said,
we didn't have a bye week.
That never happens.
Yeah, no bye week.
No bye week.
It was no bye week in that, and we had to move a game that was supposed to be here to Tempe.
You know what I never realized? So, a little narratively fitting that the year would end with y'all punching back against the Hurricanes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
There you go. I
never
thought about that either.
Like a year that began upset by hurricanes. Well, you taught
actually,
them a little lesson.
We had some rest before the
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you had rest, and look what
Yeah.
happened. They were number 9 in the country at that time. They were 9-2. They were the number 1 defense in the country, and they got and I agree, Mac Lindsay. It's ridiculous how far video quality's come. Don't love that part.
crazy, right?
Don't love that part.
Pretty
at
big
all.
flex by our boy Flynn though to go against the number 1 pass defense, and I mean you had to have
Butterflies as big as
over
buzzards.
200 yards that game.
I can check. Let's see. Looking up old quarterback numbers is so funny.
Yeah.
Because everybody
I want to
sucks.
say I might have had like
not bad. 13-22. So that's going to be over 50%.
At
Probably
that time
closing on
was pretty
60.
good.
Yes.
Yeah, a little over 50% was pretty good.
196 through the air, 2 tuds, no picks.
There you go. It wasn't great.
How about this? 95 95 QBR.
Hey, 39.
Is that
39 yards rushing as well.
39 yards
rushing.
rushing. 220 all purpose.
That was before the big ankle braces you wore.
Also, I'm looking at it's so funny on the scoreboard.
Sorry,
They're
man.
showing the game. LSU has 234 yards rushing in the third quarter. Miami has 60.
Ooh, Jake, that catch would have put you over 100 total yards and 2 tuds. You had 70 on the ground, 15 through the air. Yeah.
That would have put me over the 200 mark.
It would have. And 3
tuds. Joe would die 24 for 130.
Yeah,
let's go.
They were scared to hit him.
Legend. Love y'all later. Drink my high.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Drink my high, man. Agatemp Baton Rouge, AgaTempBR.com. About a week left in February. Well, a week and some change, given that it's a leap year. But you go to Agatemp Baton Rouge, and look, you get that service at high degree, all your AC, heat, and electrical needs. But as I'm always talking about here, during February, you get that whole home generator. You get a free surge protector along with $1,500 off. So, speaking of storm season, you want to be prepared. You want to have that peace of mind that if, things go awry, your home is taken care of. Now is the time to get it all set up and act. Get Agatemp out to your home to look at your situation, set up for you. To Agatemp Baton Rouge, AgaTempBR.com.
Go to the website. You can get that appointment scheduled right now on the site, top right corner of the site. You already know the deal with the reviews, best in the game, and you know exactly who's coming to your home when you schedule that appointment. They give you a profile of who's coming in, what they're going to be able to do for you. That's why they are the best. AgaTempBR.com, AgaTempBR.com.
Bayou Ford has new 23 Ford F-150 STX trucks for only $39,995. $39,995 plus 1.9% financing for 72 months. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Wednesday, February 21st. Today in Baton Rouge, expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 73. In hour 3 of today's show, we'll be joined by LSU men's basketball coach Matt McMahon at 9 a.m. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch them in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, welcome back in to OTB here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. You heard Taylor there, and let's do it now. Coach Matt McMahon, LSU head basketball coach, is joining us. Coach, we appreciate your time as always. Hope you're doing well today.
Yeah, awesome to be here. Fired up about this big-time opportunity tonight at the PMAC.
Oh, no question about it. Anytime Kentucky comes to town, Coach, I think we're all fired up, looking forward to a filled PMAC. But I do want to look back at what happened the last time that we saw your team, and that was going on the road against a very good top 15 South Carolina team. And the thing about your team that stands out, you're just not going to quit. Haven't done it all season long. Doesn't matter how much you're down in a game, you are going to continue to fight. And so many times, like, you've had that fight and just one play here, one play there. How fulfilling was it to finish the deal and go get a huge road victory in the SEC?
Well, I was thrilled for our players because they really have given us great effort. Have really fought all season long to get better and make the progress we have. But in our last 3 opportunities where we got there in kind of a 50-50 type game, we weren't able to get over the hump. And then to finally do it on Saturday was really special. It was fun watching them celebrate in the locker room. Certainly something to build on. And as you know, Jake, from your legendary career, it's amazing the lessons we all learned from sports. You know, Jordan Wright 4 days earlier didn't complete a play he normally would make at the buzzer there against Florida. Finds himself in the same situation on the road in front of 17,000 people on Saturday. Scores our last 7 points in the final minute. Hits 2 huge free throws to finally get us over the hump there.
Coach, you and I, when we started talking about this season, probably the earliest was in Destin. We were there for SEC spring meetings, and you were talking about trying to develop and get better and the lessons that you learned in the first year at LSU. Is this the type of season that you saw for this group? It just continues to get better. It continues to, like we talked about, fight and find a way to win games. Is this kind of the path that you see as far as developing for the program?
Well, nowhere near where we want to be, but there has been a great deal of improvement and progress here. As we always talk with our players, it's the value of every possession. You're sitting here at 5 and 7. Realistically, you're 3 possessions away from being 8 and 4. So just learning how to win, in these tight games against, as you know, it's the best league in the country. So you're playing top 25 teams about every night. So I think it's definitely been a step in the right direction over the last couple months, but a lot of work left to be done.
Yeah, and still, something, and I would say a lot to play for. And you've got an opportunity against a ranked Kentucky team inside your own building tonight. And what can a win like that, like last time out, like you find the plays, you win the game against a top 15 South Carolina team on the road, can that unlock something? Like once it happens like one time, and then we're talking about the end of the game kind of moments where you fall just short a couple of different times. Well, once you do it, can that unlock something in your team?
I think so. Learning how to win is huge. I think it creates belief, some hope, and obviously some confidence. But I was just thrilled with the execution down the stretch, coming all the way back from 16 down. But just like I told the team after the tough loss at the buzzer to Florida, we all have choices. How are we going to respond when we go on the road to South Carolina? The same is true in victory. We all have choices. And how are we going to respond tonight against a team that's going to roll out, 9 NBA draft picks and is playing really good basketball right now? But, you look at the big picture, in the league, we got 6 games to go. To this point, we've played the second toughest SEC schedule. So there's some opportunities ahead if we can take advantage of them.
Well, the opportunity coming up tonight in the PMAC, and again, Kentucky coming to town. I have seen the PMAC when that team comes here. It can be at an absolute 11. Looking forward to that. But this is a team that comes in. They are 4th in points per game in the country. They average over 88 points per game. They share the basketball, 22nd in assists per game. So what's the thing when you're scouting Kentucky? I know offensively they are so good. They're a young basketball team. But when you go in, you start to scout Kentucky, what flashes to you?
Well, I think you hit on some of them right there. They also lead the country in three-point percentage, shooting over 40% there. So, you immediately look at your defense. We got to be really good in transition tonight. They have unbelievable team speed at the guard position. So we've got to get our defense set. And then a big part of that offensively, we're going to have to score the ball and got to value the ball. We cannot turn it over tonight because they'll make you pay out in transition every single time.
Coach, obviously you've had big games against big programs and big teams. I mean, non-conference and conference this year, and you just played a team that actually was ranked higher than this Kentucky team. But Kentucky, obviously, basketball lore, they bring a lot. Like, is there a conversation you have with your team about making sure, hey, we're at home, let's don't get too amped up, like let's settle into this game? Like, is that a conversation you have to have with your team?
I think it's every game. Just want to come out and play with the toughness and togetherness that we had in the second half on Saturday. We do have some guys who've been in these big moments. Jordan Wright was the SEC Player of the Week last year after a win in Rupp Arena against Kentucky. So you're really counting on him and some of the Trey Hannibal, some of these other guys who have played in these moments to make sure we keep the focus where it needs to be so we can perform at a high level tonight, because winning is certainly going to require that from the Tigers.
You're right about that, like Jordan Wright, having moments like that in other places, but you've had those moments. And so that's somebody that you can lean on, because you know how this happens, Coach. Like sometimes the player's voice can be the loudest voice, and to be able to have him, I mean, he's been crucial this year. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know, but he has been so big for your team this year on the court, but also it feels like off the court, like with his leadership.
Well, I mean, that's the most important thing in the locker room is, player-led teams are always going to go a lot further than coach-led teams. So our leadership has been a little bit of a roller coaster at times this year, but I think there's been great improvement there. And I thought Jordan and Trey Hannibal on Saturday, down 16 minutes to go. I promise you it wasn't anything the coaches said. I think it was their leadership in the huddles and keeping the guys focused on just chipping away at it a possession at a time when we easily could have imploded in that moment in front of 17,000 people on the road. So, now you got to do it again, and that's the key. But Jordan, first 5 games SEC play, played at a first-team all-league level, struggled the next 5.
Yeah.
You look at his performance last week at Florida and at South Carolina, playing back where we need him to be. so we can win these games going down the stretch.
Catching up with LSU head basketball coach Matt McMahon here on OTB. Another player, coach, that I know you're hoping that you can count on tonight is going to be Jalen Cook. I know he is day-to-day. Is that going to be a situation where throughout the day you kind of monitor him and maybe kind of see where he's at?
Yeah, I think so. With it being an 8 o'clock game, we won't do our shoot-around till 2:30, so we'll see how he does there and shoot-around and warm-ups. And, hopefully he'll be able to go, but I think everyone will be locked in and ready regardless. But we'll see how he does at today's shoot-around before we can make final decisions there.
Coach, when you have a player like that and you're deciding can he go or can he not go, and obviously like he's heavily involved with the ball in his hands being the position that he plays, like what's the game plan like? Like look behind the curtain, kind of look at it. Like what's the game plan? Like, hey, we go in maybe with this game plan, and if he can play, we know what we can do because he's played all year long, once he became eligible. Like how do you kind of work that?
Well, that's the challenge. I mean, it's not like we're talking about the 10th man. He's our leading scorer and, has one of the highest usage rates in the country as far as his involvement on the offensive side. So, yeah, I think you saw that some on Saturday where and this is the beauty of having versatile players. I thought Trey Hannibal was just a warrior at the point guard position, got his 12 rebounds. Really ran the team. But then you also saw Jordan Wright, who's normally our small forward, slide over and play some point guard in the game. And so I think just having, some different contingencies there if he's unable to go to make sure we're able to really lock in offensively and still be able to score the ball.
All right, there he is, LSU head basketball coach Matt McMahon. Good enough to join us, Coach. One last maybe word to the fans about showing up to the PMAC tonight?
Yeah, these guys are laying it on the line for us. You just beat the number 11 team on the road in front of 17,000 people. We've got NBA draft picks galore coming in here representing this Kentucky team. And it's a great opportunity for us, for our program to keep building. And we'd love to see this PMAC packed out and it be one hell of an atmosphere tonight at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, no question about it. Coach, you're the best. We appreciate your time as always, and good luck tonight.
All right, Jake. Thanks so much. Appreciate you.
All right, this LSU basketball team, from where they were a year ago to where they're at now. And when I caught up with Matt McMahon down in Destin for spring meetings, he didn't try to hide from it. He talked about year number 1 and what it had to be in year number 2 and what it has to be in year number 3. And he was tough on himself, like grading himself and the staff and the players and everything. Like he knew they had to improve this year, and they certainly have done that, right? Right at 500 in league play. They've had opportunities, and when you're trying to develop, you're trying to figure out how to take that next step, right? It's a part of the process. And now that they've found a way to win a game on the road against a top 15 basketball team, what can that unlock? Can you go and beat a very good Kentucky team that's going in the right direction? This Kentucky team's got talent. They've got superstars. He mentioned it, 9 NBA draft guys at some point in their career. They're one of the best offensive teams in the country. Now, defensively, that's where they've struggled, but last game, they go to the Jungle, they go to Auburn, to the Plains, and they beat a team that's unbeatable at home almost. So they're going in the right direction. But so are you. And can you get another ranked victory? Man, it might not be this year, right? It might not be a tournament situation for LSU this year. We realize that. But if you can start to stack some of these victories, let's say you go get a win in the SEC tournament, then that sets up for the future. And they've got a good recruiting class already tied to this LSU basketball team. And so you're seeing the improvement. You're seeing the steps that you want to see as you look. When Matt McMahon takes this job, he has 0 players, literally 0 players. Everyone was either in the portal or something was going on with them, right? We all know that. And to be at 0 players, to here you are getting victories like they got against South Carolina, holding your own in the best basketball conference, arguably, in the country. The latest bracketology has 9 SEC teams in the NCAA tournament. And you heard Matt McMahon, second hardest schedule to this point in the SEC, and you're 5-7 in league play. Is that where you want to get? No, you want to be better. But they're going in the right direction, doing the things they have to do to get to that point. And so I would love to see the PMAC pack tonight. I've been to plenty of LSU Kentucky games inside that building that when LSU, even when they weren't their best, it was still a great atmosphere. This is a better LSU basketball team. And I think you said it perfectly right there at the end. Their effort deserves us to show up to a game like this. Looking forward to it. I know it's a late tip. It's an 8 o'clock tip. But Kentucky LSU in that building has had some special moments, and I'm looking forward to another one potentially here tonight inside the PMAC. If you're wondering where T-Bob's at, he had I believe a recital of some sort to go to, so maybe he'll be back, maybe he won't be, but it's okay. We move right along, and we'll be back here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, go to centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org. Now, we tell you every single day because it's factual, 24/7, 365 emergency service, and that's at 225-925-8552. So it doesn't matter when that happens. It can be a holiday. It can be during any big game where you're like, oh, man, we've got this issue, or we've got people coming over for the big game. It happens earlier. Well, that's okay because they're going to come out. There's never a time where they're not available. That's why we always encourage you to put that number 225-925-8552 inside of your phone. But it's not the only thing they can do for you. Bathroom remodels, restroom remodels, maybe it's your home or your business. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter the size either. It can be like just your main bathroom at your home, or it can be, hey, I've got an entire business where we've got 4 restrooms. Well, they can come in, they can handle that. No job is going to be too big or too small for them. Also, go tankless today with a tankless water heater. You can find that information at centralplumbing.org.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Happy New Year from your friends at Front to Back Boat Service. And what better way to kick off your new year than by taking your boat to the next level? Get the boat of your dreams, and that's where Front to Back comes into play. You want that spot lock trolling motor that's going to keep you right there on the water where you need to be. How about some forward-facing sonar that actually shows you the fish before you even cast? Custom stereo jobs, all of it. Sherman family's been doing it for 38 years. Go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
Join MMR and ignite your career today. MMR is the largest electrical and instrumentation contractor in the nation, and they're seeking talented individuals to join their team. For over 3 decades, they've been headquartered right here in Baton Rouge, and they have offices all around the globe.
And MMR offers a tailored path for both professional and personal development, outstanding benefits, and a dynamic culture. So whether you're an intern, a seasoned pro, or you're just starting out, see what MMR can offer you. Apply at mmrgrp.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques, insurance network.
She was storming through the house that day, and I could tell she was leaving. And I thought, oh, she'll be back, till she turned around and pointed at the wall and said,
That picture. All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
All right, welcome back in to OTB. Inside the chat, y'all's app just crashed again. I didn't even know we still had an app. I'm going to be real honest.
Used to be.
Yeah, no. So I knew that. So I used to have it pulled up during the show. Used to have the huddle.
What app?
The 104.5 ESPN app.
Oh.
Who can we blame?
Let's
find somebody.
I mean, we could probably blame Bo if we wanted to. I don't know if Bo deserves it, but we could.
Yeah. Well, let's blame T-Bob. It didn't crash till he left.
True.
So just putting two and two together.
That's fair. Maybe Matt.
Yeah, maybe.
Could do that.
Could.
Yeah, I mean.
And not Matt McMahon, who just joined us, but.
No, shout out Matt McMahon.
Other Matt.
Yeah.
Really, though, but like, shout out to Matt McMahon.
No,
because, like, the job that you take over, and I realize it's an opportunity. You're going from Murray State to LSU, and that's a big jump, and you're in the SEC, and you're getting paid a lot of money, and you have a little bit of time to figure it out. Right, it wasn't going to be win now because of, Will Wade and the NCAA, and you fire Will Wade, and everyone's thinking, man, where's this team going to be as far as sanctions from the NCAA? And if we would have known the NCAA, well, we've always known is the governing body that doesn't govern, but like nobody knew. A lot of uncertainty around the program, but Matt McMahon accepted the challenge, and year one was not great. Year one, like non-conference, like, okay, maybe, right? And then they won their first SEC game
at Arkansas, a place that you do not
win. It was really good last year. It's like, okay. And then obviously the wheels fell off. And I loved how straightforward Matt McMahon was when I saw him down in Destin. Because that setting down in Destin in spring meetings, and it's, I think for what we do for SiriusXM, it's the best thing that we cover because of the access and because of the mentality of, and so it's all football coaches, all basketball coaches, and all ADs. But everyone there, it's a more relaxed setting because there's not a season close. And it's me, it's Doring, and I think PB was there as well. And, we're talking before the interview, and we're like, hey, coach, some good things in year number one. Yeah, this one. He's like, no, stop all that. He's like, stop. We did not do the things that we had to do at a place like LSU. And again, this is like off the record. And I don't think he'd mind me saying that because we just talked about it. Like, this wasn't like fluff for the interview. This was him saying no. At a place like LSU, and he started listing off all like the great players that had played at LSU. He's like, that is not okay. It's got to be better. And again, like he came into this job, I would say, with both hands tied around his back because he had 0 players. Not one player was guaranteed to play for him at that moment. And then you look at this year, 13-12 overall, 5-7 in conference play, and even like some of their non-conference losses, like the Nicholls State, like that can't happen. Like you understand that, we all understand that. Like those are still like the things you got to get rid of. And then you lose to a good Dayton team, who's a ranked basketball team. And then you beat a North Texas and a Wake Forest, and Wake Forest, really good basketball team, like potentially an NCAA tournament team. And now you lose to Syracuse, and you're like, okay, is this going to be more of the same? And you lose to Kansas State, and you lose to Texas. You're like, oh, man, it's not bad. It's not bad, but have they taken a step? And there's some flashes during that non-conference, like I mentioned, that you can say, okay, maybe they have. And then you get into SEC play, and you go on the road, and you beat Texas A&M, and then you beat Vanderbilt, and then you lose at Auburn, which is, again, one of the toughest places to play, but then you bounce back against Ole Miss. So, like, those are the things that have been impressive to me. And then you have a tough stretch where you lose 3 games in a row, and then you come back and you beat Arkansas, and then you lose 3 games in a row because you're playing Tennessee, Alabama, and Florida. But again, like, you never saw this team just lay down and quit. And then they bounce back with a win on the road against South Carolina. So even in its worst times, even in this stretch where they're losing 3 games, they find a way to come back, regain themselves, and win and fight in every one of those games. And now you have an opportunity to go against a Kentucky that, are they a top 5 team? No, they're a top 20 team, but they just went into Auburn again and won at a place that nobody wins at, the first loss at home for Auburn this season. And they have as talented of a team as anybody in the country. Like, they have 9 pros on that roster right now. And if you get back-to-back victories like that, that's what you need in this season. At a place like LSU, you want to make the NCAA tournament every year, right? But that's not realistic with the situation that you took over. But you can take giant strides if you go and get another victory like this, because the rest of your games, Mississippi State, Georgia, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Missouri, to finish your year, you can win every one of those games.
Yeah, that's cake.
Like, this is the game. If you go get this matchup with Kentucky, those other games, I'm not saying you're going to win them all, but you'll have a hell of an opportunity. And let's say that you only win 5 of the 6. That's still, you win 5 of 6 and you're looking up and you're 18-13 on the year, you're getting a lot of attaboys from me.
Well, and not only that, I mean, what would they talk about coming into the year? Oh, if he wins 4 or 5 games, I mean, that's a big step forward. Yeah. You're already there. Yeah. And then you mentioned the last 5 to close out the year. If you win 3 of those 5, that's already 8 SEC wins right there. His over-under was like 5.5, I believe.
It was.
You're already at 5. And then you talked about it, the tough stretch between Alabama, Tennessee, Florida.
Yeah.
You had a shot to win all 3 of those basketball games. You probably should have won the Florida game. Yeah. And I get it. Like, you'll look at the final score and be like, well, hell, they lost to Tennessee by 20.
Tennessee, they cut it to 4.
That was an 8-point game with 6.5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
I mean, you had a shot to win that game. You fell apart because Tennessee, frankly, just has a lot more depth. Even against Alabama, they shot the lights out, but you scored 92 points against Alabama. You played well enough offensively to win that game. Then you finally break through against South Carolina, and Jordan Wright was a big reason why, right? I mean, you go as he goes, especially with Jalen Cook banged up. In those 3 games against Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee, Wright didn't even play well. I mean, he needed that big game on Saturday. There was about a 3 or 4 game stretch where he wasn't playing well. So you get him going, you get a Jalen Cook back. Look, this Kentucky team, they got some good players, but coming into the year, you ask every talking head on national TV who Kentucky's best basketball player was. They were all saying Trey Mitchell. Trey Mitchell's not playing in this basketball game because he's injured. He hasn't played the last couple of games. Antonio Reeves is a consistent scorer, but outside of them, I do think they have a lot of question marks. I never thought I would like a Kentucky basketball player, but Reed Shepherd is a really good two-way basketball player. He's a great defender. He can score. He can pass. He can handle the ball, but he's been a little inconsistent at times. He's a freshman. He's still young. Rod Dillingham off the bench has been really good for Kentucky. He's had some inconsistencies as well. So, I mean, I know you're a big underdog in this game, but you have a shot in this basketball game. You were trending in the right direction, and they had the big win against Auburn, but they still have a lot of question marks as far as their offense goes.
Yeah, and again, they're a young basketball team. Remember, Kentucky was always a young basketball team. They were always going to get one-year guys, and they were going to have the 5 best freshmen in the country a lot of times, and that's how they were going to do it, one-and-done guys. And then they tried to go away from that, and they tried to go through the transfer portal, and they tried to bring transfer guys in, veteran guys. It didn't really work for them, and so Cal's like, you know what? I'm going to go to the system that I know best. And that's what he's done for the most part here again with this squad. So young basketball team on the road. I think it's going to be a good environment. And they showed that they can go into Auburn and win. But now for Kentucky, a young basketball team has to go back-to-back times, and they've got to do that. And you look at the line, I think it opened up at 4.5. Now it's sitting at 6.5. And so, yes, they're favorites. Not crazy enough to think LSU can go and compete in this game. I think LSU will compete in this game, but there's going to be a time in this game where they have to make the play or the plays. And it looks like it's going to have to be Jordan Wright. Well, I didn't get great confidence that Jalen Cook's going to be available.
Yeah, no, I don't have a lot of confidence in Cook playing tonight either. But I mean, Jordan Wright, we all talk about Jalen Cook all the time. I think Jordan Wright has had like the biggest impact on this team. And Kentucky's not bad. Like, obviously they're number 17, but they're not the Kentucky team that they used to be. They're coming off of like 2 losses inside Rupp Arena, which has like never happened inside the new one. So I think the Tigers have a good chance against this Kentucky team tonight in the PMAC.
Yeah, we brought it up. I had it at Weekend Losers 2 weeks ago, and Alondra's right. It was actually 3 straight. And it was the first time since Rupp Arena's been open, which was 1976.
Yep.
They hadn't lost 3 straight home games. They've done it this year. She mentioned Jordan Wright. Yeah, I mean, that's your leading scorer. That's the guy you have leaned on time and time again. It's a big reason why you weren't able to finish the Florida game, because he had an off night. Jalen Cook is a great point guard, but to ask him to carry the load offensively, I think is a little bit much for him. I would much rather Jordan Wright be that primary scorer, because when Jordan Wright's been the primary scorer, that's when you've been the best. I expect a big game from him tonight. I think this is going to be a close matchup.
Again, it's going to be an 8 o'clock local time tip. So a little bit of a later tip there, but you have the opportunity to go cheer on this LSU basketball team that is going to fight like hell. They're coming off their best victory of the season, and they've got a great opportunity against Kentucky coming up tonight. All right, when we come back, I'm actually going to be at an event this weekend, the New Orleans Card and Collectible Convention, and we're going to talk about that and tell you who's going to be there when we jump back on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to GoTommies.com, GoTommies.com. That is where you'll find Tommy's windows, doors, and siding. Now, we want y'all to know, like, it's not just, hey, they can fix windows or they can put new windows. They can do so many different things. When you think about what they can do for you, like, don't just put it in one box. No, I mean, when they say windows, doors, and siding, we're talking about, like, any kind of window, any kind of door, any kind of siding. So many different options that you have, and that's why I always encourage you to go to GoTommies.com, because you can, see testimonials of past clients, but you also can see a gallery of what they can do. We're not just talking about like your basic front door. We're not talking about just your basic window. They can do it all. They can become as creative as you want them to become. They can install whatever you need them to install. They can upgrade your space. And that's why every year since 2016, we tell you every day, Angie's List Super Service Award, that's gone to Tommy's. So go to the website, GoTommies.com, GEAUX Tommys.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 988.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
And welcome back into OTB. Coming up this weekend, I'll be at the New Orleans Card and Collectible Convention. And to talk about that event now, Luke Gines joins us. Luke, how you doing this morning? Glad to have you on the show.
Good morning.
All right, so we've got this event coming up in New Orleans. Tell our listeners a little bit about the event and maybe who they can expect to see.
We're making our return this weekend. We had a show a few months ago. It was a huge hit. We had over 200 dealers come in from around the country and vendors, local and national, sports cards, sports collectibles, autographs. So we're making a return, and it was a great event last time. We expect a bigger event this time. We'll have car dealers from all over the country, authentication services, autograph guests, Ricky Williams, Warren Morris, Dalton Hilliard, and you yourself. Just a lot of fun this weekend.
And this is like, obviously, trading cards as far as sports trading cards, but also Pokemon, which I know my sons are huge fans of, and a big market out there. So multiple things, not just sports, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Any trading card you can imagine is going to be in the room, more than likely. Cards anywhere from $250,000 on up to $100,000, and definitely Pokemon. Pokemon was a big hit last year at the show, so we added in a gaming tournament this year, where kids who don't actually know how to play the game can come in and they can be taught how to actually play Pokemon the right way, and they can compete with one another. It's going to be an awesome time.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I saw a flyer a little bit earlier in the week where the first 100 kids get a free Pokemon pack. Is that still something going on?
Absolutely. Each day, Saturday and Sunday, the first 100 kids through the door, accompanied by an adult, get a free Pokemon pack just for showing up. Also, kids get in free. Absolutely nothing for kids to come in, walk around and experience the event, and adults, it's only $5.
There you go. And that website, NOLAcardconvention.com, NOLAcardconvention.com, if you want to find out some more information. I'm looking forward to seeing Dalton Hilliard myself. I mean, growing up when I did, watching the Saints play, like that's a guy that I've never had the opportunity to meet. So there's going to be some great people out there. Our guy Chuck Bro's going to be out there, if I'm not mistaken, as well, right?
Yeah, Chuck's slated to be out there and showcase some of his art as well.
I know our listeners are big Chuck fans, and he's done some great work for us as well. So, all right, any information that you want to make sure that people know about the event before we let you go this morning, Luke?
It's just a family fun event. It's right there at the Pontchartrain Center in Kenner, so it's really not that far from Baton Rouge. Jump on the interstate. Come out, have a good time. Like I said, it's not an expensive event. It's something fun to do, and bring the kids out and just have a good time.
Luke, we appreciate your time this morning. Look forward to seeing you this weekend.
Thanks so much. Have a good one.
All right. Again, you can go to NOLAcardconvention.com for more information. I'll be there with Warren Morris, Ricky Williams, Dalton Hilliard, and others. What's funny about events like that is, like, my kids will not care at all that I'm there. They're going to be enticed by the Pokemon. And by the kids get a free Pokemon pack. My kids would go and get the Pokemon pack and then probably just walk the other way. Like, they do not care that dad's there.
The thing about this that I like you mentioned, the younger crowd is for the Pokemon. Obviously, people my age, if I didn't know you personally, I'd be like, oh, Jacob Hester's there. That's a guy that, when I was in middle school and high school, I watched play football for you, and people a little bit older than me. It's Ricky Williams, Dalton Hilliard, and Warren Morris. So it's you kind of hit every age demographic as well, right?
Yeah,
I think I'd be most excited to see Warren.
Yeah, you love baseball.
I love baseball.
Is baseball that's your jam?
Yeah, okay. It's been my life, my whole life. We grew up in it.
A couple of 3-1 graders, Warren Morris, myself will be there in case you're wondering. Ricky Williams, by the way, if you've never had the opportunity to meet or talk with him, he's awesome. I've been at a couple of different things like this with Ricky Williams, different card signings, and he's great, man. Great personality, very engaging. Obviously, a legend in the game in multiple places: Texas, Saints, Dolphins, and was with the Longhorn Network as well for a very long time. So Ricky Williams is going to be cool to chop it up with him again coming up. Again, NOLAcardconvention.com. is the website to find all the information. It's only $5 for adults. Kids are free, 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. That's going to be this Saturday and Sunday there in the New Orleans area. And again, Chuck Bro, our guy, going to be there, and he's always going to bring the heat, as we well know. All right, so I don't think that T-Bob is going to be back. He said 9 to 9:30, but T-Bob time is different than normal people's time. But I do want to do this. I want to maybe take a break a little bit early. I want to get to some of your questions. Let's get to some Ask the Bench. Anything for any of us. Obviously, Taylor and his takes, Alejandra and her baseball, whatever you want to get to, we'll get to it to wrap up today's show. And again, one more time, NOLAcardconvention.com is that website to find out more information about this weekend's show down in New Orleans. We'll take that break. More when we come back here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, go to GetGordon.com. GetGordon.com is the website, and you can find out what they can do for you in the courtroom. They're on the website. Past client results, cases they can handle for you. You can find all that information, and you can actually get a consultation set up on the website. You can have a chat on the website. That's just one way to get in contact with them. We all know your area code in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888 is always a way to get in contact with the G team. Also, if you want to see what they're doing in the community, like the Alex Milazzo conversation, which he just got added to the G team, is fantastic. It's like an hour long. It's on all their major social media. Again, at Get Gordon is always going to be that handle there. I mean, just doing big things with Tigers, doing big things in the community, and you'll see all of that on their social media. So again, at Get Gordon is always going to be that handle. But go to the website, see what they can do for you in the courtroom. That's GetGordon.com. Your area code followed by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even...
Blame it all on my roots. I showed up in boots and ruined your black tie affair. The last one to know, the last one to show, I was the last one you thought you'd see there.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
I toasted you and said, honey, we may be through, but you'll never hear me complain, 'cause I got friends in low places where the
All right, welcome back into OTB. Time for Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Coors Light, Vizzy, Hard Seltzer, Blue Moon, Light Sky, Citrus Wheat. Nookie says, never meet your heroes. Taylor, probably.
Hey, I mean, I thought I was being complimentary because I said, like, if I didn't know you, that would be exciting. So it's like, I don't know. I thought it was complimentary. I stand by that statement. Leave me alone, Nookie.
Have you ever met a hero?
Yeah.
Either one of y'all.
I have, and he was one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
That's great to hear.
I met Kurt Warner Monday Night Football.
Nice.
I interned at WFB right across the street when I was in college. It was my last year at Southeastern. I'm 20 years old, and they let each intern pick like one game to go to, right? And I'm looking at the calendar. I'm like, all right, like if I time this right, this will be the Breeze game. It was the game Breeze broke the passing record against the Redskins.
Nice.
I happened to time it out right, and I'm standing on the sidelines before the game, and I mean, it's a who's who, right, of ESPN reporters. Everybody knows Breeze is going to break the record that game, and I'm standing there, and a couple people, like waved at me, but I'm 20 years old. He could probably tell I'm standing there wide-eyed, and Kurt Warner actually approached me, and he came up and, asked me how I was doing, why I wanted to get into the business and everything. Spent 10 minutes talking to me, and he absolutely did not have to do that. One of the nicest guys I've ever met.
That's great to hear. Alondra, do you have a similar story? I mean, you've met a lot of country artists.
I've met a lot of country artists. I've met Bruce Willis in New York one time.
It was like a big one.
Yeah, I saw Vera Wang in New York one time at the Polo Bar. But, I mean, I can't think of any. Whenever I first got to college, I always knew that I wanted to do sports broadcasting. And when I first got to college, Alabama was a home game, and game day was here. And I went to go watch them do the Friday night rehearsal or whatever. And they were doing like a little setup, and I went and I met Reese Davis and Kirk Herbstreit, and that was pretty cool because I was like, I want to do this, what you're doing. I don't know. Other than that, I can't think of really anything.
Yeah. Those two guys, by the way, are fantastic.
Yes, they were awesome.
I mean, Kurt
whenever I met them.
is like the standard of college football, and now he's a professional. Watch it on Amazon there on Thursday nights, and then Reese is the man.
Yeah.
Like Reese comes on my other show off campus every week, and he's incredible.
I love Reese. I think Reese I still have those pictures somewhere.
Yeah. I think most of our listeners know mine. It ends up he's one of my good friends now, Chipper Jones. Like I was a big Chipper Jones guy, Braves fan growing up. They were playing the Padres when I was with the Chargers. Got a chance to meet him and now become friends, and so. We got good stories about meeting your heroes. They always say never meet your heroes, but
Bruce
we got good
Willis
stories.
was a really cool one. I did ask him for a picture, but I asked him expecting him to say no, and he said, but he was super nice about it.
Yeah.
Like I expected him to say no, but my grandma was with me, and we were at a restaurant, and I was like, "That's Bruce Willis," and she was like, "I don't know how you even recognized him because I wouldn't have been able to." But she was like, "You have to ask him for a picture," and I was like, "No," and she's like, "You have to ask him." Yeah. So I did, but
look, I think they appreciate just the conversation more than the picture, right? And like for me, it's kind of cool because like there's a bunch of people at the Super Bowl. I was like, oh, that'd be cool to have like a picture, whatever. But you don't ask. But the good thing was Sirius had their photographers there, so they were taking all the pictures.
That's true.
So I didn't have to ask for them.
Yeah,
I totally was cool, man. I wasn't gonna ask for any pictures or anything like that.
I've said this one before. Like obviously we just said I love baseball. I grew up watching the Astros when Jeff Bagwell and them were on there, but Chris Burke,
Bagwell.
like Chris Burke was on there, and I was a really big Chris Burke fan. Like I loved his stance, and I think I was either doing AFR or Hunt show, and we called Chris Burke, and obviously I was the one that called him, and I was like, oh my god, I'm calling Chris Burke right now. It was like pinch me moment.
No question about it, and he's a great guy as well.
Yeah.
He still broke my heart in the 18th inning way back in the day. We'll talk about that another time. Ask the bench, if you had to go and fight in a war from the past, which would it be and why?
I'm sure there's like a
I don't
one
want no
day.
like no stolen valor here.
Yeah.
I'm just like I'm military family, but like if I'm answering the question, World War II, like the B-17s fascinate me. I mean, it's a plane that obviously like it had a job and it was dropping bombs, but like it wasn't a fighter plane, so it had to protect itself, and it had guns everywhere, both sides, at the top, at the bottom, at the rear, and just fascinates me. So like if I was to fight in a war, like the B-17 would be highly intriguing.
Mine's easy. Cold War.
Yeah, because
why is that, Taylor?
Because I don't have to do anything.
Yeah, there you go.
I think I'd do like one of those bone spur situations where I dodge the draft.
At least you're honest.
Yeah.
At least you're honest.
I mean,
I
know what it's like to like have to do that. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Right. Obviously, like there's no perfect time in the world ever, and there was things like during World War II that were not perfect in the world, but that generation, the grit, the determination, and I'm just going to go to work. I'm not going to complain about it because that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like that intrigues me highly. So that's why I would choose that. As the bench, since it's my 29th birthday, how long is it acceptable to say that I'm 29 and holding? Mac, you can say you're 29 for like a full year, I feel like. And then you can be, I forgot I'm 30. Like somebody will call you out on it, but until they do, just say you're 29.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know this girl who's like in her 40s, and she'll say she's 30'11".
30'11". Yeah. Is that from Usher, 50'11"?
Maybe. I don't know where she got it from. She's crazy.
That's actually pretty good, though.
When my dad got to 39, like he never left 39. Like he said that for a solid 15 years.
Yep. Ask the bench, what is your favorite pasta dish? Any and all.
Shrimp and crawfish fettuccine. That is my favorite.
Good one.
I love a bolognese.
I like literally like pasta. You sign me up. I'll probably enjoy all of it. Ask the bench, Alondra or Taylor?
I mean, I feel like we can't answer that.
That doesn't really.
I'm gonna say Alondra for
I
sure.
would, yeah, I mean that doesn't.
That's like very biased.
Ask the bench, who's winning?
You didn't answer it though.
Nope. I'm gonna be a good teammate here and say both. Ask the bench, who's winning a game of horse from the 104.5 station?
Like out of everybody,
would probably say.
Jacob Begg's got some length on him.
I would say Hunt, though. Hunt played basketball in high school.
Hunt
Loyola.
loves basketball, too.
Yeah, I think Hunt, if we're talking about horse, and like you can't dunk and like only shooting, I'm going to go Hunt.
Yeah, that would have been my answer as well.
Ask the bench, who other than Shaq is the most successful LSU athlete to go pro?
Like, and okay, so they have to be retired now, right? And
I guess.
Like, I got to tell you, Simone Augustus is up there.
That's actually a really good answer, and I like that answer. Like Sylvia Fowles, Simone Augustus, like what they did.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat.
I mean, Simone Augustus is a Hall of Famer. Like
without question.
Multiple WNBA championships.
Hall of Famers, I think.
Yeah.
Baseball currently, you got Nolan Bregman.
As I said, Bregman has a World Series.
Yeah, I can see where they end up.
Someone said Ben Simmons.
I mean, basketball.
Money-wise, yeah.
Like Pistol Pete.
Witt has a Super Bowl.
Bob Pettit's an NBA Hall of Famer.
Yeah. There's a lot of answers. There's a lot of, like current, like Joe Burrow, like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. I mean, what can they do? Daniil Hunter's somebody that we just completely forget about, and he's like year after year top 3 in the NFL in sacks and about to get paid again.
Yeah, I think he had 12 and a half this year.
Yeah, he's one of the highest.
I mean, he has double digits every year. Yeah.
Ask the bench, any new vinyl pickups? I just got Princess and the Frog soundtrack.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I am looking for a James Young. I'm not sure that y'all would even know who that is, but my latest find that I want to hone in on and find is a James Young. So that's my next quest there, Murder Giraffe. Ask the bench favorite Cajun Creole seasoning blend.
I don't know
I mean,
enough.
it's got to be Tony's.
Yeah, I don't know
I
enough.
like. I mean,
I don't have a
Slap
sample
Your
size.
Mama. Tony's is great. I'm trying to think if there's a local one that a grocery store here does. I'm trying to think of the name of it, and I cannot. I'll think of it maybe before the end of the show. I like it all though.
Yeah.
Ask the bench, who has the better baseball team, Tulane or LSU?
Come on.
LSU. They're the defending national champion.
Come on.
Yeah, and they beat.
I mean,
Tulane last year.
Tulane's, they're not bad.
They're not LSU.
No, they're not LSU.
This is more of a comment than a question. Anthony Mackie almost smacked Moscona around, so he gets bonus points.
They
did almost maybe get into something.
or something like that. The one on the Avengers.
He's the Falcon.
Yeah, the Falcon. There we go. Hawkeye
Jeremy
is
Renner?
Jeremy Renner. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I couldn't think of what bird he was. He was a bird though.
He was.
Ask the bench, has Moscona brought up the basketball yet?
Oh no, I forgot about that.
He may
I
not
don't know
he
if
may
we
not have
told
seen
him.
it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
so
T-Bob
Matt's-
was like literally licking his basketball,
Yeah,
but he
he
has,
was.
and if he knew that, I think he would be.
Well, so
pretty
Matt's
upset.
usually driving
he'd be
in because
upset,
like
yeah.
he was texting me when our YouTube stream was down. He's usually driving in, so like he may have heard it, but if he missed that part, he definitely didn't see it on video, so he may not have actually known about the lick.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
well,
we
I think we need to tell
might
him.
not
I
know.
think it'd be funny to see his reaction because he probably touched it yesterday. Mac Lindsay, also, if there's ever an OTB hang, I've got an old football program with you on the cover. Would like for you to sign it. Hey, Mac, you can bring that to 929 Government Street. Leave it with Miss Judy up front, and we will get that thing signed anytime. But, of course, if we have a hang, you're more than welcome to come hang as well.
Heck yeah.
Let's see. Ooh, ask the bench. What's the best burger you've ever had? Ooh, that's tough.
I can tell you my favorite burger in Baton Rouge.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
So this one's a little off the wall. Rue 61, the seafood restaurant, has a Rue
All right.
burger.
Yep.
It's phenomenal.
Yep. Hunt says Superior all the time, so you're in the same
Hunt does say
mindset.
Superior.
Yep.
Yeah. I know a lot of people.
Ask the bench favorite sports team ball cap. While you're thinking about it, go to RejuveMeMedical.com. RejuveMeMedical.com, your one-stop shop. Going to get you feeling like your youthful self. Ball cap.
Very obscure. Corpus Christi hooks.
Unbiased opinion, the Dallas Cowboys star.
See you tomorrow.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know.